My flow's remarkable. Doc walk like Kane from Kung Fu round the globe. Throw obstacles, I'll hurdle them. Herman whack MCs, chrome racks to the rims, to the caps. You'll met the Cal and D. I'm ASAP. I'm crack of dawn, chicken hunting at KFC. In 83, I was that scrub TLC. Talked about, now I rock the house, chalk them out.
Yeah, no doubt. Who got the biggest ass in the house? Young miss, full of your fit, salt water trap. Pretty young thing, got a tongue ring and dirty mouth, and she whispering them sweet nothing. I air it out. Baby, you got me, like Joni had Chachi, until she got hot and went and fucked Popsy. Lady Godiva, from day one a dick rider. Liar, liar, set your pussy on fire.
I see you dancing right now. I don't need to tell you that you know how, but baby you do. Oh, I said you belong, and if you dream to be free, I can take you there. Just follow me, baby. I won't steer you wrong. And it seems like to me, you want someone to fit your pedigree, baby. I do. So what you want? Smack your ass, pull your hair, and I even kiss you way down there. Know that I will. Think I won't. Oh, let's do it left and right. Keep moving up and down. Love we do it left and right. But keep moving up and down. So what you doing left and right. Love when you do up and down. Love when you do it left and right. Keep doing it, baby. Left and right, up and
Yo, shit, how we do it?
left and right and up and
Hey yo, D, how we do it?
left and right and up and
Hey yo, how we do it?
left and right and up and
All time, how we do it?
Here you are in my world, make you feel like a girl. I rub your back and fulfill your needs. While we just get undressed, fingers in the touch and your caress. That's what I want. Why don't you give it to me? I would have you believe there's no reason for you to leave. Stay right here, in my arms, where you're safe and secure. And with me, you give me sure there's no friends. You tell me, bitch, we do it left and right. Oh, up and down. You keep moving left and right. Keep moving up and down. Oh, yeah, left and right. Love when you do it up and down. Don't stop left and right. Keep doing it, baby.
Talk to me. Yo, hey yo, D, yo, how we do it? Yo, how we do it?
Funk down, how we do it?
Hey yo, Stallion.
This is how we do it.
Yeah.
I don't you know, sex no thing to do. Ooh, sex is no thing to do. I don't you know, sex is no thing to do.
Yeah. D.A.B.A.T.E off the ball with Keith and Marley G. Pushing a Harley D with a jar green. Come 151, straight Indo, the spot. I fuck brown sugar behind the fiberglass window. It's Doc, pack guns, no sling weight. Only thing I sling is condoms for spring break. Fuck 'em, how we do it?
Leave 'em.
How we do it?
Get the money,
no pussy,
yeah. Take your coat off and stay a while. Now, honey child, if you gon' be acting funny style, then I don't need ya. It's Saturday, this night fever. Shit is poppin', cheaper, my mouth cotton. Tis the season for drawers dropping and heavy breathing. You ain't skeezing, you dick teasing, I'm leaving. Acting right, I got no time for games, I'm no joke. Drop that ass when I'm finished and watch it smoke.
Yeah.
This is all
to hit the streets off, make the streets talk, let them know it ain't a sleepwalk. This gon' be the only joint made this year that'll knock till 2003. And y'all gon' see that the hottest nigga out there was, is, and will be me. Just like that, I can go away for a minute, do some other shit, but bounce right back and win this song. I'm coming strapped with some shit that'll spit from dusk to dawn. And when you gone, ain't no coming back in the morning. Like that shit with the dream, nigga, you gone. That's for real. Creep niggas like a seal, talk to steel, stick a nigga, make him squeal. Oh my God, those can't be the last words of your man. Damn, your man was so hard. Come on, bring it. What? We right here, we're not going anywhere. We right here, this is ours and we don't share. We right here, bring your crew cause we don't care. We right here, here we go again. How many million did my last one sell? Fuck it, I'm going for 10. It's never gonna stop. And every fucking time I hit you, it's going straight to the top of the chart. Champion, I'm a thoroughbred, my blood is strong, and I scratch till you done. Cross the line, and ain't no more scratches after that. Straight up, niggas is dying. Yo, what the fuck is you cats doing? Running around like this, like you won't get stuck. Yo, that's my word. I stay giving it to niggas, and I stay not really being heard. But y'all gon' see that the same thing thou did to them will be done to thee. And then you'll know that sometimes when you come through the front, you leave it out the back door. Come on, bring it. What? We right here, we're not going anywhere. We right here, this is ours and we don't share. We right here, bring your crew cause we don't care. We right here, bring the noise. And you better come with niggas you don't give a fuck about, cause you gon' lose your boys. Cause we don't play. In the silence over silence, any cocksucker with something to say. Dog for life. Whether I'm on or off the leash, I bite. Streets of my life. Click, click, boom. Another life taken too soon. Another mother had a funeral. Still waters run deep, and the pain is forever alive inside. Makes it hard to sleep, but I keep going. Shit, I'm always careful when I walk. I'm always seeing, knowing, dog gon' live. Stay walking the wire, over the fire when I cannot give. Dog is good, and how it stand, dog gon' fuck with the hood. To dog fuck with the wood. Bring it, what? We right here, we're not going anywhere. We right here, this is ours and we don't share. We right here, bring your crew cause we don't care. We right here, bring it, what? We right here, we're not going anywhere. We right here, this
Alright? Peace and Black Power, family. It's your boy Psychopath and your girl Renee. Black at you. Now I mean, with another RBG pill show. What's really hood out there, family? Let's see. Let me get some ones out there. Let me make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Now I mean, let me get some shout outs while I'm waiting. Let me see. Shout out to Back to Love. Shout out to Yeti. Shout out to Cal. Tim. Sonia was good. Suave was good. Lorvell. Tate. Albella. Let's see. Who else came in here? Aisha Baz. Tachu. Pookie. Shout out to everybody else out there. Might come through. Might be listening. Hooded One was good. Shachira was good. Nappy Yankee. What up? Shout out to everybody else out there. Yeah. Renee, what's good? How you tonight, sis?
I'm good, bro. What's up?
I knew that was coming. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Peace to the chat. Peace, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. If you can, please share the show. But yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Ready to get this show going. You know, we apologize for not coming on earlier this week, family, but we here. Like the song said, we ain't going nowhere. We here. You know what I mean? But yeah, what's good though, Renee? We got some stuff we gotta get off our chest today.
Yeah. It's been a lot of things going on. Y'all know. Y'all already know. You know. Here we go again. But yeah, so it's been a lot of things going on in the news. Just between the Derek Chauvin trial, we know recently, the loss of DMX and it's just been a lot of stuff going on, be it gossipy type news and also be it like real things going on out here too. So it's been a lot, but tonight we're going to get into more of this police terrorism. So you have a couple of cases where, and by the way, y'all, they doing some yard work. It's light later now and the weather is really, really good. So they out here cutting grass and stuff. But anyway, so we're going to get into these stories. So it's been more police terrorism, of course, happening, which happens every day. But we got another situation in Minnesota. And again, we know the Derek Chauvin trial is happening in Minnesota. And so we have a situation with that we're going to get into. Also, a situation that happened in Virginia where it was a brother who's in the military and he was pulled over with some mess going on with that. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Black Lives Matter, honey. Black Lives Matter. It was a lot of news going around earlier in the week about one of the founders of Black Lives Matter buying up these quote unquote $1 million homes. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that because y'all know we've been on the trail for the money. Where's the money? But we're going to find out if that's actually true or false. And we're going to start though with a really, really recent story. I know y'all probably seen within the last day or so that happened in North Carolina. Was it North Carolina or South Carolina? No, South Carolina, my bad.
South Carolina.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that story. So, Psycho, you want to do the video first and then I'll read the article?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
All right.
Family, cool. The other day, a situation happened out in South Carolina where a brother was walking around in a predominantly white neighborhood, right? And, being that he was a black man walking around in a predominantly white neighborhood, obviously, white people are looking at him wondering what the fuck is he doing over here? What is he up to? Looks like a shady character, right? So he was walking through the neighborhood, and then as he was walking through the neighborhood, you know, this happened. I'm gonna go ahead and show this clip, and then we're gonna get back into it, and we'll let Renee read the article, and we'll go deeper into it. Let's go.
Hey, they've already been called. They're just waiting. You know what? Maybe you should hang on a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Then we won't have to get the report by ourselves.
What is it you're doing here?
Walking.
Then walk.
Okay, and that's what I was doing. She came out of house. Well, you've been here like 15 minutes now.
Let's go. Walk away.
Keep walking.
Walk away. I already walked away. Walk away right now. You need help?
You got this on camera.
I'm happy to help you. I didn't hit you. There's a difference between
Pretty
pushing
sure
you.
you were the aggressor, buddy.
You're aggressing on their neighborhood.
Someone came running. Walk back.
You better walk away. You walk away. You talking to my wife right now.
That's your wife?
Walk away.
I didn't do
Walk
anything.
away.
Your wife will speak.
Check it out. You either walk away or I'm going to carry your ass out of here.
Dude, if you touch
What do you want to do?
You better not touch me.
Or what? What are you going to do?
You up on me.
Let's go. Walk away.
I didn't do anything to you.
I'm about to do something to you. You better start walking.
I didn't do anything to her.
You better start walking
So
right
when
now.
you come after me like that,
I ain't coming after
you're the one in the
you.
wrong.
You're in the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. Get out. Get out.
I live here, sir.
Where? Where's your house? What's your address?
Maybe we should walk you home. Walk me home?
Well, you bet. You want to bet what I can do?
I live here, sir. Okay,
Right
what's
now,
your
you're
address?
harassing the
I'm
neighborhood.
not harassing anyone walking through the neighborhood I live in, sir.
Where? 'Cause check it out. We are a tight-knit community.
Okay.
We
How
take
long
care
have
of
you
each
been
other.
here? How long have
A
you
hell of a
been
lot
living here?
longer than your ass, because
How
I
long
have
have you
never
been
seen
living
you
here?
before in my
How long
life.
have you been living here? That's
Why
none
does
of
that
your
even
business.
matter to you?
How long have you been
It
living
doesn't
here?
matter. You know what? Get the hell out of my face.
You've been
Get out of my
here.
face.
You walked up to me.
Check it out, motherfucker. I ain't playing with you. You either get your ass moving or I'm gonna move you.
You smell drunk.
You want to bet?
You are drunk.
I'm about to show you what I can do.
I would suggest that
You better walk away. Walk away. Walk away.
I'm walking. You keep following me, sir.
There's only one way out of here. It's right over there.
There's multiple ways out of here, sir.
You want to bet?
All right, family. And there y'all go. Y'all got to hear it for yourselves. You know what I mean? Y'all got to see the whole full clip. I know Renee has an article that she's going to read. So I'm going to let her go ahead and get to the article. And then we're going to chime in and give our opinion on everything. So go ahead, Renee. Whenever you're ready.
All right, y'all. So this article comes from Atlanta Black Star. Get out. Family of Army Sergeant who accosted young black man walking through a South Carolina neighborhood was forced to relocate, y'all, for safety from his tight-knit community. Anyway, protest forced a white U.S. Army non-commissioned officer out of his home after the officer was hit with charges following a viral video that showed him aggressively confronting a young black man in a South Carolina neighborhood. Jonathan Pentland, 42, was charged Wednesday, April 14th with assault and battery, 3rd degree. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott said the charge carries a maximum sentence of 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. He and his family were removed from their home Wednesday night after peaceful protests turned violent. Dozens of protesters had gathered outside the home and police responded to reported acts of vandalism. Of the incident involving the young man, the sheriff describes it as terrible. It was unnecessary, Lott said. The young man was a victim. The individual arrested was the aggressor. Footage of Pentland confronting a black man walking in Columbia's Summit neighborhood was posted to social media by Cheryl Johnson on Monday, April 12th, and shared thousands of times. On Facebook, Johnson identified the black man in the video as DeAndre. Johnson said she didn't know DeAndre or Sade, the woman filming, prior to the encounter, but that Sade recorded the ordeal because she, quote, saw the young man in distress and knew he didn't do anything wrong. Excuse me. In the video, Pentland shouts at DeAndre, shoves him and threatens to put his hands on him. At the start of the 3-minute video, filmed April 12th, Pentland and DeAndre are standing on the sidewalk in the neighborhood. Pentland and a woman he called his wife tell DeAndre that the police are on their way and ask him what he is doing. Walking, DeAndre replied. A loud and visibly angry Pentland then shoved DeAndre as he attempted to walk past the soldier. Walk away, you walk away, Pentland shouted. You either walk away or I'm going to carry your A out of here, Pentland said. You better not touch me, DeAndre said, or what? What are you going to do, Pentland asked. I didn't do anything to you, DeAndre said. I'm going to do something to you, Pentland responded. You're in the wrong neighborhood, mother effer. Get out. When DeAndre told Pentland he lived there, he asked him several questions about where exactly he lived and what his address was. Maybe we should walk you home, Pentland's wife said. Pentland continued to make threats against DeAndre as he tried to walk away. I'm walking. You keep following me, sir, DeAndre said. Johnson, who was also out walking, approached and said, come on, what's your name? You don't want no trouble. And DeAndre appeared to walk in her direction before the video ended. According to Johnson, police did arrive at the scene and gave Pentland a citation for malicious injury to property for slapping DeAndre's phone out of his hand and cracking it. The Richland County Sheriff's Office report showed that Pentland had slapped the man's phone out of his hand and stomped on it, y'all. Sheriff Lott said DeAndre had been involved in other incidents in the neighborhood prior to the encounter, but that Pentland's assault on him was not justified. See how they do, y'all? He said the young man won't face any charges. Authorities also said DeAndre has an underlying medical condition that may have impacted his behavior on the day of the encounter, and that they are trying to make sure he receives necessary treatment. Officials said someone had asked Pentland to step in after DeAndre allegedly approached them in a threatening manner. Pentland has been stationed at Fort Jackson since 2019. Officials there are looking into the incident. Authorities with the Department of Justice are also investigating the matter. Fort Jackson-based officials said on Twitter. Pentland was detained in the Richland County Jail at around 8:30 a.m. Wednesday and issued a personal recognizance bond. About 24 protesters showed up in the neighborhood on Wednesday afternoon, chanting and calling for accountability in front of Pentland's home. They remained there most of the day. Okay. Ooh, yeah. So, y'all, first and foremost, what we saw in the video, what has been put out there is not that anything that I know of that DeAndre damaged anything, hurt anybody, did whatever. So the fact that they're trying to throw some little stuff in there like, oh, he was involved in other incidents. What incidents? What is that? Okay, what's your point? What incidents are you talking about? But then they say he's not going to receive any charges. But y'all said he was involved in other incidents. So why put that in the article? Why put that in the story? And not Atlanta Black Star, but the police chief. Why put that in there if it has no relevance to what actually took place? Y'all just trying to throw some little salt in the game so that people can say, well, see, make it more justified what old boy did. And then when he goes to court, if he chooses to go to court on this issue, he can say, hey, this guy did things in the neighborhood and I recognize him, or I heard about him, this, that, and the other, and I was just making sure he got out of here and all that, right? So that's still giving him a way out. At the same time, on the one hand, saying what happened was wrong, it shouldn't have happened, old boy was the aggressor here, and the other young man was the victim. Okay, so on the one hand, you're saying that, which is facts. But on the other hand, you're throwing in there, hey, he's been involved in other incidents. But what incident? And if he did something that day to somebody that was a crime, where's the charges? Where's the citation? Where's the ticket? Where's the whatever? So, they always got to try to give a way out some kind of way. But, the fact that you know, we in 2021 and people say all the time, this is 2021. We haven't moved past racism. Listen, y'all, honey, these white people is turning up. These white people are turning up, and y'all need to understand that. Y'all need to get over it so we can address it ASAP, because they see a real shift happening that they don't like. Of course, by the fact that Trump won, by the fact that, you know, now Biden is in there, they pissed about that. They seeing, you know, more and more quote unquote browning of America, if you will. We know they hate the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all their feelings about all of those things. So you're seeing more and more that white people are going to be turning up. These people are pissed, and they're going to be using any and every opportunity to do whatever it is they want to do. So, you know, in this case, you have a young Black man walking through a neighborhood. Again, we haven't seen that he's done anything to anybody, but yet old boy gonna come up and let him know, you better not be over here. And let it also be known, this has to do with their white daughters too. Okay, you seen a Becky in the background, and then there was another Becky behind the camera. So the Beckys are involved. Okay, they don't want him messing around with their little Beckys. They don't want him coming over to their house. They don't want him messing with their daughters. And it's to send a message, and it's to let it be known. You're not welcome here. We not down with none of that. It ain't happening over here, DeAndre. And that's to all the DeAndres out there. So, you know, I think we need to get as diligent in our neighborhoods too. Because, see, the thing about it is, you'll have white people, you'll have other non-Black people who will come in Black areas and they won't get touched. They won't get touched. They come in Black communities. They come in there, either they coming in there seeing what's going on to gentrify. They come down there trying to buy drugs. They come down there trying to do the most in our communities. They don't mean us any good, but they won't be touched. Well, nobody walk up on them and say, white boy, what you doing over here? White girl, what you doing here? You not welcome here. You not welcome here. You got about 5 seconds. But we don't really do that in our communities, you know? So it's just an interesting, you know, dynamic to see. But at the end of the day, yeah, he gave him an out. Old boy's gonna say, hey, I heard some things. And, you know, and then it's a tap on the wrist, if anything. Well, they said 30 days in jail. He ain't gonna do no damn jail time, and he ain't gonna pay no fine. They gonna say, you get probation or whatever. You might do a couple hours of community service, and it's a wrap. But I'll pass the mic to Psycho.
Yeah. You know, this right here is a fine example to all these coons out here, right? Right? Because let's not get it fucked up. Dude, I don't know if he's a coon or not, right? I'm gonna jump out on the ledge and say we probably dealing with some coon ass Negro right here, right? And I'm not gonna say just because you live in a predominantly white neighborhood that makes you a coon, but I'm just saying the way he was acting and the way he was portrayed. Like, first of all, let me say this. Why did they even call the cops on him? Why did they call the cops on him? You heard old girl in the background, like, we already, police already been called. For what? What did he do exactly for y'all to call the police? Outside of being black in your neighborhood, what did he do? Like, they need to explain why they called the police to begin with. Right? Then they approached him and started harassing him. Even after this Negro told them, where do you live at? Or whatever. He said, I live around here. He said, I live around here. Because he was like, this ain't your neighborhood, motherfucker. You don't belong in this neighborhood, right? Told you coon-ass Negroes. Y'all heard that Neanderthal tell you coon-ass Negroes, that ain't your neighborhood. As much as you motherfuckers try to distance yourself from the black community, from the alley, whatever the hell other coon-ass fucking narratives y'all want to spin for the fucking hood. Oh, in their eyes, they don't give a fuck where you live at. This is your hood. I don't give a fuck if you don't live there or not, motherfucker. You don't belong there. If you living in that neighborhood, you are a stranger. You are a foreigner there. You don't even got your green card. They gonna G-check you whenever the fuck they feel like it, cause that's not your neighborhood. You Negroes who strive and make it your life mission to go live around these motherfuckers, that's what they think. That ain't your neighborhood, motherfucker. Ain't that what he said? This ain't your neighborhood, motherfucker. That Negro's like, I do live here. He said that shit like that was supposed to mean something. He's like, motherfucker, he didn't even believe him. He's like, motherfucker, she straight G-checked him. Where? Where you live at? Where? I don't believe you. You need more black people. Where y'all Negroes at? Where you property value dropping ass Negroes at so I can move the fuck out? They go find me a nice gentrified neighborhood. I don't want to be where you niggas is coming in. I want to go where you Negroes is going out. I want to live where you Negroes is on your way out the door. I don't want to live where you Negroes is coming in the front door. No, I'm cool on that. I'm leaving. They don't want you motherfuckers around there. They have never wanted you motherfuckers around there. All you motherfuckers bragging that you the only black motherfucker on your block, this could be you too, motherfucker. It probably has been you. You motherfuckers probably have experienced this shit. Don't talk that slick shit to me. But it's the fact that this motherfucker sitting here trying to explain himself. Because like I said, just because you live in a predominantly white neighborhood don't mean you're a coon. But he was doing way too much explaining for me not to believe he ain't a fucking coon. Because I would have told him to go fuck himself. I would have G-checked him. Told him to go fuck himself. Fuck out of my fucking face. Fuck is you talking about? This motherfucker pushing up on him. He ain't doing shit. What's wrong with you, Doc? Letting this motherfucking KB punk you like that on camera. Asking you where the fuck you live at. Where you live at? Asking all those stupid ass motherfucking questions. Hey, another thing, can we not give these motherfuckers this much fucking credit? Can we not, all this, I understand this whole premise that, they protect the community and all this other thing. The motherfuckers felt they're voting because they was around other white people. Them fuck boys ain't about that life. He go fuck himself. That motherfucker, you heard the motherfuckers. He was talking tough because he called the cops. He was talking tough because he called the cops. I don't want to hear, they protect this, they protect that. Motherfuckers, they protect Ashley Babbitt on the fucking 6th of January when they had those motherfuckers outnumbered. They had all the motherfuckers outnumbered. She got shot. Everybody bow down. Stop giving white people all this fucking credit. The motherfuckers had the cops coming. That's why he was talking tough. He was drunk. Motherfucker even said he smelled like he had liquor on his fucking breath. That motherfucker was drunk and had some liquid courage. And was talking tough because he knew the cops was coming. Trying to play it up for his fucking wife. Please. Y'all give them motherfucking KBs too much goddamn credit. Should we do the same? I saw somebody ask in the chat. Should we do the same? Should we protect our community the way they protect their fucking community? Basically, you asking, should we call the fucking cops? Because that's how they protect their fucking community. They call the fucking cops. So, I guess black men should start calling the cops and then go outside afterwards and talk tough too, with the cops on their way. Is that what black men supposed to do? What is black women going to do? Are they going to stand out there on by their man's side talking shit like that white woman was doing? I don't hear nobody saying black women should act the way that white woman was acting. I'm hearing motherfuckers saying black men should act the way that white man was acting. This European worship going to stop. Worshiping their communities, worshiping they snitching, they fake ass motherfucking protection. Please, let's get into don't talk about what we should be fucking doing. What we should be doing is not living in fucking communities. That's the fuck we should not be fucking doing as a unit, men and women, as a unit. Don't turn this no fucking gender banging nonsense. Talking about what black men ain't doing, is doing, and all this other shit. This ain't Pookie and Ray Ray's fault. Pookie and Ray Ray wasn't there. Protect you gotta protect our community. That motherfucker don't even live in our community. We gotta start acting like white men. Y'all gotta start acting like white women? I know some of y'all believe that. Some of y'all believe y'all need to start acting like white women. That's why you're breaking necks trying to level up. But we don't need to act like white men. We don't need to act like white men. Y'all want a white man? Take your ass up to that fucking community and go get harassed by him. Them motherfuckers a bunch of cop callers. No goddamn protection my ass. First thing they fucking said beginning of that video, the cops are already called. They called them motherfuckers 15 minutes ago before they got out there talking shit. Giving fuckers too much goddamn credit. Motherfuckers is pussy. Hell with them motherfuckers. Fuck them motherfuckers. Fuck their community. Stay the fuck out of them. That's why we don't need to be living around them fuckers. People think I'm nutty. People think I'm crazy. Oh, you crazy? You got to get black people off the cliff and drive them off the planet, different planet. Well, y'all keep breaking y'all necks like that fool trying to live around it. Y'all keep kissing that pale ass like that motherfucker trying to live around it. You keep having cops called on you like that motherfucker trying to be around them. You keep doing that. Fuck them motherfuckers. Can't be serious. Please. White man. Fuck him. He ain't do nothing tough. That motherfucker picked on motherfuckers about 120 pounds soaking wet. I'm supposed to give this bitch ass motherfucker props. I'm supposed to act like this motherfucker is some motherfucking super motherfucking pale thug. Please. That little punk ass motherfucker, he was punking some up. That motherfucker about 120 pounds soaking wet. He wasn't even in the same weight class. He feeling all tough and shit. Man, fuck out of here. Fuck that motherfucker.
You can call me Captain Caveman.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Motherfucker ain't Captain Caveman. Motherfucker's a pussy. Called the cops and went up there and flexed on the little motherfucking midget. That motherfucker's 5 foot nothing, weighed 120 pounds. And everybody none of us want to give this European credit. What the fuck he do? He pushed a little ass Negro who loved white people, who was trying to explain himself. Ooh. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to jump up and motherfucker go find us some little dorky ass Poindexter and punk them on the block so we can feel tough. So we can feel like we protected something. Y'all shitting me? Fuck them goddamn Europeans. I ain't giving them motherfuckers no credit for nothing. Protection. They protection where they protection is the pigs. They protection wears badges. We about to talk about their protection in a minute. We about to get full blown about their protection. It ain't no motherfucking Mr. Clean ass looking motherfucker out here punking some motherfucking, some Stefan Urkel looking motherfucker feeling emboldened around this fucking community. I'm not giving them props for that. I'm not. Some motherfuckers want to give white people props, give them props. I'm not giving that motherfucker no props. Ridiculous. I mean, look how little this motherfucker was. I mean, this motherfucker was little as hell. Like, this motherfucker is not tough, yo. Look how little this motherfucker is. Look, this motherfucker look like a teenager. This motherfucker like a teenager. This motherfucker like he in his 40s. You know what I mean? A army, a military motherfucker in his 40s. Punking out a fucking black teenager who ain't even... Wait, look, motherfucker stiff as hell. Stop. Little as shit. That motherfucker ain't punking nobody. Like, stop it. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. If motherfuckers is impressed, oh well, I'm not. I'm not impressed, motherfucker. Punk somebody a little bit bigger. Let me see you walk up on somebody a little bit bigger like that, talk that tough guy shit. Let's see if you want to flex in front of your Becky if somebody was a little bit bigger. I might be impressed then. Please. Now when I seeing Wax 100 knock out two of you motherfucking KBs bigger than him, I done seen Wax 100 jump the shit out of two of you KBs that was bigger than him. Both of them motherfuckers bigger than Wax 100. He jumped the shit out of him by himself. That's impressive, motherfucker. That's impressive. You want to impress me? Do some shit like that. Let me see what them KBs do what White 100 did to them. That's impressive. That shit right there, him pushing on Urkel, that's not impressive. Y'all motherfuckers impress easy, not me. I'm just saying. And he did this after he called the cops. Like, stop. Y'all be trying too hard. Y'all stuck in gender banging mode. Saying about black men and black women, but we're gonna make this about black men and black women. It's about coon-ass motherfucking Negroes, men and women who worship white people getting a fucking wake-up call. That's what this story's about. Coon-ass men and women who worship white people, who put white people on a pedestal, who think black people need to act like white people. This is about them motherfuckers getting a wake-up call. That's what this story is about. Okay, I'm done with it.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about it is, if dude was like a big dude, if it was like a big black dude, if old boy would have went out there, he would have been totally different. Hey man, what's going on? Oh, you know, you live around here? I bet you any money either he wouldn't have went out there, or his posture, his attitude would have been totally different. Now, understand, they would have called the police regardless. But, you know, old boy was small. He was little. You can tell you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going down. You know, old boy's big. You know, he considers a soldier army dude. You know how them white boys are that's in the army and all that. So he bigger than him, and you know, so he felt like he could step to him. Like, let's keep it a buck. And like in the Judas and the Black Messiah movie, if y'all remember, when old boy told the cop, he said, you know, Black folks more afraid of a badge than a gun, because the badge got it's a whole system behind them. So, that's the thing too, when white people, especially these white boys, act like they being brave. They ain't being brave. They know damn well when they call them popos that they gonna be on their side. Like in the article I read, even in that article, you hear the police throwing them some bones, like, oh, well, DeAndre's been in some incidents in the neighborhood. You feel me? So at the end of the day, they had to give him whatever citations or whatever the case may be, but he still know that the police got his back though, and how many police probably like, yeah, man, we got to keep these guys out of our neighborhood, man. You did the right thing, man, but we got to, just give you this ticket. It's not going to be a big deal. Like, they already know what it is. So these white boys are not brave. Okay, let's make that clear. Even when you look at what happened with the Capitol, the police was working with them. The police weren't going against them. They let them in for the most part. They weren't going hard on them like that. And then old girl only got killed because she just was going to be determined. But they gave them every chance in the world. They already had guns pulled on them. So white people don't have that inherent fear, if you will, of the police, or caution of the police that a lot of black people have, because they know the police got their back. At the end of the day, they gonna ride with them. So we see it all the time. So yeah, he's not brave. He's not brave at all. He got them people on his side. But yeah, so let's get into this story about Black Lives Matter. Okay, this has been big in the news for the past week. A lot of people been talking about this or whatnot. So this article comes from Black Enterprise, and it is BLM co-founder Patrice Khan Colors under fire for purchasing $1 million homes in white neighborhoods. Speaking of white neighborhoods, okay. All right, so Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Khan Colors is under fire for allegedly going on a real estate buying binge where she purchased 4 high-end homes, with some being in wealthy, predominantly white neighborhoods. According to property reports referenced by the New York Post, Khan Colors is accused of purchasing 4 high-end homes for $3.2 million in the United States. She also said to have been eyeing property in the Bahamas at an exclusive luxury beachfront resort outside Nassau, where condos are priced between $5 million to $20 million. Khan Colors' real estate binge was put on blast on Wednesday, April 7th, after the outlet Dirt revealed the $1.4 million Topanga Canyon compound the BLM activists recently purchased. The 2,370 square foot property reportedly features, quote, soaring ceilings, skylights, and plenty of windows, and is just one of 3 homes Khan Colors owns in the Los Angeles area, public records show. During the height of the 2020 BLM movement, Khan Colors and spouse Janaea Khan purchased a quote, custom ranch on 3.2 rural acres in Conyers, Georgia. Additionally, the activist is said to have paid $510,000 for a 3-bedroom home in Inglewood, California, and $590,000 for a 4-bedroom home in South LA that she purchased in 2018. After news of Khan Colors' luxury living hit the press, other members of the Black Lives Matter organization called for an investigation. If you go around calling yourself a socialist, you have to ask how much of her own personal money is going to charitable causes, said Hawk Newsom, the head of Black Lives Matter Greater New York City. It is really sad because it makes people doubt the validity of the movement and overlook the fact that it's the people that carry this movement. Khan Colors, co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement with Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi in 2013. BLM activists have been demanding $20 million from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, including Michael Brown Sr., whose son, Michael Brown Jr., was killed by police in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014. Why haven't my family's foundation received any assistance from the movement? Michael Brown Sr. asked in a statement last month, Yahoo News reported. On behalf of many activists in the St. Louis area, I'm joined by Mike Brown Sr., the father of Mike Brown Jr. Today, we hold Black Lives Matter accountable, community organizer Tony Russell said. Now, here is the update, y'all. This was updated on the 13th of April. The Black Lives Matter Global Foundation has since reached out to Black Enterprise to provide a statement. Patrice Cullors, the executive director of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. Y'all, let me say that again, because see, they play these games, right? Patrice Cullors is the executive director of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. Okay. The statement read, she serves in this role in a volunteer capacity, okay, and does not receive a salary or benefits. Patrice has received a total of $120,000 since the organization's inception in 2013 for duties such as serving as spokesperson and engaging in political education work. Patrice did not receive any compensation after 2019. The statement continues to be abundantly clear as a registered 501c3 Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, the BLMGNF, cannot and did not commit any organizational resources toward the purchase of personal property by any employee or volunteer. Any insinuation or assertion to the contrary is categorically false. Patrice's work for Black people over the years has made her and others who align with the fight for Black liberation targets of racist violence. The narratives being spread about Patrice have been generated by right-wing forces intent on reducing the support and influence of a movement that is larger than any one organization. This right-wing offensive not only puts Patrice, her child, and her loved ones in harm's way, it also continues a tradition of terror by white supremacists against Black activists. All Black activists know the fear these malicious and serious actions are meant to instill. The fear of being silenced, the trauma of being targeted, the torture of feeling one's family is exposed to danger just for speaking out against unjust systems. We have seen this tactic of terror time and time again, but our movement will not be silent. So, now I just want to read a little additional part about this from Snopes, okay? Because they did a fact check on it, all right? And so they said no evidence, and this was updated on the 14th, no evidence BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors used donations to buy a house. I'll read a little of this. So the claim is that Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors used donations to the movement to buy a $1.4 million mansion. The rating was unproven. The context: a real estate gossip site reported Cullors purchased a home in Topanga. We pretty much know all of that. Okay, they say, however, the initial report did not state that she used BLM donations to buy the home, nor has evidence to that effect come to light. Furthermore, reports characterizing the purchase as extravagant do so without noting the prices for single-family homes in Los Angeles are considerably higher than in other markets. All right. Okay. There's a couple other parts in here I wanted to read. Okay, let me read this about her. Cullors is a fairly high-profile public figure. Aside from being an activist and organizer, she makes frequent media appearances. She is the co-author of a best-selling book, When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. She also signed a deal with Warner Brothers in late 2020 to create programming for the network's various platforms. Okay, so keep that in mind. We sent Dirt an email, and Dirt, remember, is the kind of gossip real estate thing that put the story out. We sent D.A.B.A.T.E an email asking if they would disclose the name of the business entity the home was sold to, but didn't receive a response in time for publication. We haven't been able to identify to independently verify D.A.B.A.T.'s report that Kohler's purchased a home in Topanga. Her name did not come up in our own public record search. In a statement sent to Snopes by email, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation directly denied the allegation. Since the organization's inception in 2013, the foundation said Colors received compensation totaling $120,000, like we heard, for work that included serving as spokesperson and the political education. Since 2019, Colors' role with the foundation has been voluntary and unpaid. I feel like they had a little bit more of the money breakdown in here. Okay, let me read this part. Is the home a mansion that is near Beverly Hills? Because that was some of the rhetoric put out there. Compared with other properties listed on D.A.B.A.T.E, the home reportedly purchased by Colors is relatively modest. Other posts on the site detail multi-million-dollar estates bought by the likes of pop music icon Madonna, tennis champion Serena Williams, and pop star Ariana Grande. Even if it's true that Colors purchased a single-family home in Los Angeles for $1.4 million, we note that because of overall home prices in LA, that amount does not go as far as it would in many other areas. D.A.B.A.T.E reports that home in Topanga has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a guest house, and sits just on over a quarter of an acre-sized lot. It's not small, but to call it a mansion, as Fox News did in the April 13th headline, is a stretch. Right-leaning Media Research Center tweeted, "The liberal media won't cover this. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors bought a $1.4 million house near Beverly Hills. Everything in the city of Los Angeles could technically be described as being, quote, near Beverly Hills, just as easily as it could be described as being near Disneyland. The Topanga community is about 20 miles from Beverly Hills." All right, so long story short, here's the problem. Okay, this part I want to read. I'm sorry, y'all. Aside from getting record numbers of feet on the street in demonstrations across the country in the spring and summer of 2020, Black Lives Matter organizers told the Associated Press that it brought in $90 million in donations to the nonprofit organization associated with the movement, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. The Post story published on April 10th also reported Colors went on a $1 million real estate buying binge and claimed she spent $3.2 million snagging 4 high-end homes. When you read past the headline in leading language, the Post story really describes 2 modest home purchases. One in South Los Angeles, formerly known as South Central, and the other in Inglewood. Both homes are in working class communities and were purchased for, I told y'all earlier, $590,000 and $510,000 respectively. Like most homes in Los Angeles, they have appreciated in value since their most recent purchase dates. The Post also reports Colors' wife buying a home in rural Georgia and that the couple eyed luxury property in the Bahamas without purchasing it. Was this a buying binge? We don't have enough information from the Post story to answer questions like, were these homes consecutively purchased, lived in, and sold? Were other parties involved in the reported purchases? Were they lived in by family members? Did any of the addresses crop up due to errors in public records databases? It kind of gives the background about Black Lives Matter, but we pretty much know. So anyway, long story short, okay, so the story's been out there for a week. You know that she went on a buying binge and she was buying all these $1 million homes and these mansions and all of this stuff. And when I first heard the story being reported and I heard certain people report on it, it was like, oh, well, dang, you know. But then when I actually went and looked into the story and got some more information, that's it's not really true. Okay, it's elements of it that's true and elements of it that are not. First, let me say this: we've been highly critical of Black Lives Matter donations. Y'all know, just even in like the past couple of months, we did, I think, at least 2 episodes, because we did an episode on one episode stream, we addressed Michael Brown Sr. and some of the, you know, claims and things that he made about, hey, we don't get any funding. Where's the money? You know, we need 20 million. Our foundations are suffering. What about Ferguson? You know, what's going on? Y'all know we did a whole breakdown, like this past summer, the summer of 2020, we did a whole breakdown toward the tail end where there had been all the George Floyd protests, everything going on, and all of these record donations coming in from major corporations like Apple and, you know, so many different places, Disney and you know, so on and so forth, Coca-Cola. And we were like, okay, where's this money going? These people is dropping bank. I mean, to them, it's not a whole lot, but in the scheme of things, it's a whole lot of money. So, you know, as we reported before already, that they got 90 million in 2020 alone, right? We're not talking about even going back starting around 2013 when the whole Trayvon Martin situation, which is where they really, you know, kicked off. And then we know with Ferguson, it really went crazy. So they've gotten donations. They're a 501c3, but they've gotten all of these donations over years of time. They got $90 million within 1 year. So it's like, where's the money? Well, you got places like Ferguson, who, I mean, Ferguson really set off so much in everything that went down and what happened to Mike Brown, and the fact that they don't see any money, but you got stories in the media of this chick, you know, buying $1 million homes and all of this kind of stuff, or mansions and by Beverly Hills and all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of people had questions, rightfully so, including myself. What I will say is, again, I'm highly critical of the money, right? But that doesn't mean people should lie about the story. It doesn't mean people should make assumptions about the story. We still have to get the information correct, y'all. And y'all know we believe in fact checking over here and giving facts and proof and evidence. So I will say in this case, I think what does need to be taken into consideration is 2 things. Number one, she had a very successful book. So she's an author. She wrote her book. It was a bestseller and it still is a bestseller. So I'm sure she got a substantial amount for that. Then she did this deal. Who was the deal with? She did a major TV deal, right? So she's going to be developing content.
When did this deal with this movie?
Warner Brothers.
When did this movie deal and this book come out or happen?
I don't know when the book came out. You could probably look it up. It's called When They Call You a Terrorist. I'll see if I can. Oh, well, let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, well, I'll tell you about the Warner Brothers deal, because they had the link in the article. So this was from Variety. This was from October 15, 2020. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors signs overall deal with Warner Brothers Television Group.
And that was 2020?
That was in 2020 for the TV deal. As far as her book, let's see.
Trying to find a season because it's a memoir, whatever. This, that, and third. It came out in 2018.
Okay, so there's a little bit now.
Came out in 2018. So
okay,
basically, it's fair to say that she used BLM as a catalyst to push her book and to get this movie deal.
Yeah. Now that can be said. Okay. Because Patrisse Cullors is making a big step into the television business. the co-founder of Black Lives Matter, has signed her first overall deal with Warner Brothers Television Group, characterized as multi-year and wide-ranging. The pact will see Colors develop and produce original programming across all platforms, including broadcast, cable, and streaming. Colors agreement encompasses scripted and unscripted series, long-form series, animated and kids programming, as well as digital content. Ooh, that's worrisome. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Together, WB-TVG and Colors will look to amplify the work of Black Lives Matter, which Colors started alongside Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi back in 2013, and create more opportunities for prominent Black storytelling. Precise terms for the deal have not been disclosed. Okay, so that's what I was going to get. Is that people? Yeah, let me just write this up. That's what I was going to get to. Is that people can't necessarily say she used the donations money, but she was able to use the Black. Now, I will say she was a founder of it. Okay, so she was a founder. So she was one of the ones initially who put out Black Lives Matter. Okay, so she did start it. However, the fact that where's the money? There's been no money in the communities, but she's able to get, I'm sure what was a substantial book deal. And now she has a substantial TV deal. This is going to be across TV, broadcast, online, all of the above. So that has been a platform for her to get this kind of money to be able to buy the homes. I will say the homes they showed were not mansions. So they was fluffing on that. Let's keep it a buck. Let's tell the truth. Regardless of which direction it's going, we got to be honest about it. The homes were not mansions. Okay. The homes were modest, as the article said. I didn't see nothing that was out of this world. And two of the homes, as they said, were in South Central Los Angeles. And they look kind of like the regular homes you would see on TV in South Central. So, some of this was amped up. Some of this was blown up. And I will also, in her defense, this is in her defense, and then I'm going to go to the other side. In her defense, the homes were played up. Okay, they're modest homes, they're not mansions. In her defense, the fact that they put in there that they were quote unquote, eyeing condos somewhere in the Bahamas where they start at $5 to $20 million. But she didn't buy anything. And what does eyeing mean? Eyeing could have just meant they went there and looked around. Eyeing could have meant anything. That's not relevant if she didn't buy nothing. That if she was to go there, or if they do end up buying a $5 to $20 million home or whatever in the Bahamas, then that can be critiqued. But just y'all saying that, what does that really mean? That's just kind of throwing some salt in there. Let's keep it a buck. But so I'll say that in her defense, she has deals already, a book deal. She has the TV deal that happened in 2020. So I'm sure that cash done kicked in. Them checks from Warner Brothers and whoever and all that done kicked in. And we know she getting money. Come on. Ain't no way that all of these donations have come in and she ain't got nothing. She ain't got not a damn dime. I'm not believing that. How the hell are you able to work as a damn volunteer and you ain't got no money like that coming in? Nah, so she been getting money. Okay, let's keep that a buck. But like I said, in her defense, I was just putting a few facts out there because certain things were misleading that they amped up. But yeah, I'll throw the psycho.
Yeah. These pictures of these houses, these were the alleged houses, or were these pictures that?
Yeah, those are supposed to be the 4 homes that she purchased.
And none of them are hers?
Yeah, what do you mean they're not her? Yeah, she supposedly bought them, yeah.
So these are her houses?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so
as far as it's known, now one of the houses, it said in the article, they couldn't even determine if she did buy it. So I think 3 of the homes for sure. The other one is still in the air.
Yeah, well, a couple of these homes look pretty expensive. I don't know. 2 of them could be considered modest. 2 of them look a little bit expensive. I don't know what's going on or whatever, but I do know this. This chick right here started Black Lives Matter in 2013. As Renee just mentioned, she had a book that became a #1 seller, and this book was made in 2016. And the title of the book was, what was it called? When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. So the book literally is a Black Lives Matter memoir. That's literally what the book is, right? Monetizing Black Lives Matter, right? #1 seller, made a whole lot of money off of it. Then she helped produce a bunch of YouTube original series entitled Resist, which premiered November 18th in 2020, which led to her signing that Warner Brothers deal that Renee just spoke of, the movie deal. Again, all this stuff on the backs of Black Lives Matter. You know, she also appeared in a 2016 documentary called Stay Woke, the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, like everything this chick has done has been centered around Black Lives Matter. Right? She identifies as a queer, and she married some other Black Lives Matter queer. Here she go right here. Right? By the name of, what's her name? Janani Khan, a social activist who co-founded Black Lives Matter in Toronto. This is who she's married to. Right? So, everything she has done or achieved in life, to me, at least as that's documented, has came on the backs of Black Lives Matter and men dying. Her monetizing. While not even helping out the victims' families. Because we know for certain that at least 2 of those 4 homes is hers. We uncertain about the other ones. But we know at least 2 of them is hers. She's getting donation money and her own money. Nobody knows where the donation money's going. Still don't know where the donation money's going. They caking up on their own. They got their own personal grifts going on with Black Lives Matter that ain't got nothing to do with donations that they making money off of. And then they got the donation money coming in. And nobody knows nothing about that money. Families not being helped, nothing. No communities, anything, no centers, nothing. This we do know. We got personal testimony from the victims' families. Multiple, not just one. So again, this group is still a grift. They're a bunch of grifters. I'm on hold reserve on the house thing. As far as I don't know everything about that, I do know we confirmed 2 is hers. The other 2 we don't know about. Question mark. Maybe she own them, maybe she don't. But I do know this. I still ain't fucking with this movement. Whether even if she don't own them, I'm still not fucking with this organization. Ain't no way. this shit, yeah, we all know what this shit is. We done discussed BLM on this channel multiple times and why we don't fuck with it and why we see it as problematic and a grift for a lot of motherfuckers. A tool to make these motherfuckers famous, make them some money. They quote unquote be the mouthpieces for black people. Well, she ain't the mouthpiece for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But I know she ain't the mouthpiece for me. And I wish she would stop presenting herself as such. Talk about queer lives matter. That's what the fuck you seem concerned with. You don't give a fuck about black lives. You care about queer lives. Do the hashtag that's more, that's hits you closer to home. Not the one you can make the most money off of. Sick of these weirdos. Where are these motherfuckers at now? Where are all the marches at right now? Out in Minnesota, where they at? Where they at? Where they at in Virginia right now? Where they at? Didn't I tell you BLM was about to disappear? Only time you hearing about BLM nowadays is with shit like this. When a scandal pops off about the missing money. You don't hear about these motherfuckers planning marches anymore in your fucking town, in your city, do you? Where the marches at in your city now? Where those marches at in your town now? The deaths ain't stopped. The police ain't stopped killing motherfuckers. Shit ain't stopped with George Floyd. Where BLM at? I told you our lives only matter on election years. Our lives only matter on fucking election years. Please. Where these fuckers at? Where they at? I told you, they about to go back in that hole in their fucking wall. And you ain't gonna hear from them fuckers until 2023. The end of 2023. Then they might pop up. Whatever police killing happens towards the end of 2023, and it will be one that pops off at the end of 2023. I promise you that. I'm not a prophet or nothing. I'm not making that claim, but I'm pretty confident in that claim right there. A police death will happen towards the end of 2023, and then you will see them. Then you will see them. But they are on vacation right now. Chilling. Spending up all the election money. Dick. Anyways, I'll pass the mic back to Renee.
But yeah, if y'all are interested, it's recently an article that came out from the Los Angeles Times titled, "There's a fight over the direction of Black Lives Matter and the timing couldn't be worse." And it was talking about how all of this upheaval's going on during this Derek Chauvin trial. And the article was updated April 14th. It does go into talking about some people in the Los Angeles area, a particular woman, a Black woman whose son was killed in 2016. Her name is Lisa Simpson, and she was going in on them. You know, she was saying, y'all come around, you know, we bury our children, and then we don't see a B, a L, or a M, but y'all out here buying up properties. You know, so it's a lot of people that have been speaking out, and the article says it's unfortunate and yet somehow entirely predictable that the airing of Black Lives Matter's dirty laundry would happen during the trial of former Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin. So they said for years, a small group of activists has been asking what the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, founded by Californians Patrisse Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi, but now solely run by Cullors, does with the donations it collects to fight racial injustice and police brutality. So yeah, and in recent months, those questions have become more pointed. They started, I'll read this little part real quick. They started with the searing footage of Chauvin's knee jammed against George Floyd's neck, his black body pinned to the concrete next to a police cruiser, and the protests and the reckoning. Then the foundation revealed that it had raised more than $90 million last year, a good chunk of it from corporations and celebrities trying to prove their anti-racist bona fides after Floyd's death. So yeah, people been on it. A few families whose relatives were killed by police questioned why they haven't seen a cent, but it wasn't until the past few weeks that the questions became public accusations. Black lives don't matter, your pockets matter, Lisa Simpson declared, and that's the woman whose son was killed in 2016 by police, declared to reporters Tuesday. Longtime South LA activist Najee Ali at her side. Let's keep it real. Simpson's son Richard Risher was killed by Los Angeles police in 2016 in Nickerson Gardens. She insists that the local chapter of the Black Lives Matter, the first in the country, promised to help pay for the 18-year-old's funeral, but they never received any money, even as people told her they made donations for that very purpose. Damn. Listen, y'all, let me read that part one more time because I'm gonna read the answer, then we're gonna move on to the next story. But let me just read this part one more time for y'all. Simpson's son, Richard Risher, who was killed by Los Angeles police in 2016 in Nickerson Gardens, she insists that the local chapter of Black Lives Matter, the first in the country, because they live in LA and that's where it started, promised to help pay for the 18-year-old's funeral, but that she never received any money, even as people told her they had made donations for that very purpose. However, in a statement issued earlier this month, Black Lives Matter LA said it owes Simpson no money and that it operates, quote, primarily as a power building organization, not a social service organization that's equipped to provide financial help to families. I mean, wow. They said, I'm gonna repeat their response to her one more time. In a statement issued earlier this month, Black Lives Matter LA said it owes Simpson no money and that it operates, quote, primarily as a power building organization, not a social service organization, end quote, that's equipped to provide financial help to families. So they said, listen, okay. Honey, I don't know who promised you what, who told you what, but you ain't getting nothing. You been, done buried your son a long time. You ain't got nothing coming from us. Primarily a power building organization, not a social service organization. What? First of all, what power are you building? And what power are you building without resources? Not a social service organization when you know damn well a lot of these people who end up dead by the police, these black men, women, and children, the families need assistance. The families need financial assistance to bury their children, bury their family members. And you know that. You know the circumstances economically of a lot of black families, particularly who are victims of these types of issues. And you say you're not a social service organization. So you don't give a damn about the community. We already know this. And what the hell is power building? Power building means you get to make a deal with Warner Brothers. That's what that means, power building. She built her power to get a major deal. And she got her nice advance on that. And like I said, where's that other money though? Y'all playing games. Yeah, I'm sure she got her, quote, own money, if you will, through, like I said, the book deal, the TV deal. But where's the money though? And my question, I'm going to say this and I'm going to read the next article, but how come they could come out and make a statement about the old girl saying, oh, we're a 501c3. We do not, give any money to this, that, and the other. She has not received any funding, da, 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 da. They can come out and say that, but they can't come out and say where the money at though? Huh? So wait, y'all can make a statement to try to clarify, because what's in the news about her buying these houses. And hey, no, we didn't get, but you can't come out and say, well, this is where the money, this is the breakdown. Because y'all using Black Lives Matter, right? So in terms of Black people and the suffering of Black people, particularly at the hands of police, but can't nobody get no money, not even Mike Brown Sr., okay? Can't nobody get no money. This sister that's out in LA where y'all started at. Y'all, let me move on so we can get to this next story, because, yeah, y'all. But y'all can check that out. It's in the LA Times. It's in the LA Times. So anyway, so let's get on to this next story, y'all. And this story is about Caron Nazario. I believe that's how you say his last name, who is in the military. He's a soldier and he was pulled over. This happened, I believe, December of 2020, but it's just within this last week that the footage was released and the story came out for everybody else to know about it. But he was basically pulled over. He was, pepper sprayed and could have almost lost his life. Let's keep it a buck. In Virginia. Psycho, did you have a video you was gonna play, or you didn't?
No, I didn't.
I wasn't for sure. Okay. All right, y'all. So we gonna get into this story. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen this on the news. Like in the past week, it's been a big story. But there's a little bit. I'm reading this particular story because I thought this was pretty interesting. This is from the Washington Post. Caron Nazario saw Eric Garner, who he called Uncle, die in police hands. Then officers pepper sprayed him 6 years later. For a moment, as the video played on his cell phone, Charles Welch thought he was about to watch a white police officer kill one of his family members for the second time. On the screen, he saw his wife's cousin, Caron Nazario, a 27-year-old Army second lieutenant, who, while still in uniform, had been pulled over by a pair of officers in Windsor, Virginia. Both men had drawn their weapons, and now both were screaming at Nazario, who struggled to understand what they wanted from him. What's going on? He asked in a video from the December traffic stop that has since exploded across the internet. What's going on? Is you fixing to what's going on? Is you fixing to ride the lightning, son? Officer Joe Gutierrez shouted back, using a slang term that can refer to tasering or to execution. Welch, 52, couldn't process what he was seeing on his phone. He had helped raise Nazario and considered him to be his nephew. Welch held his breath as tears streaked his cheeks. He had seen a version of this video before. His wife, Raquel, was also a cousin to Eric Garner, the Black man who died on a Staten Island sidewalk in 2014 after an officer wrapped him in a chokehold. The national outrage, demands for change, and immortalization of his last words, "I can't breathe," did little to quell the anguish his family suffered. Among them was a young man, Caron Nazario, who called Garner his uncle. Raquel contacted him soon after Garner's death. Amid her grief, she needed to remind him of a message he'd heard many times before. If a police officer ever confronted him, he had to stay calm, comply, never make them feel threatened. 6 years later, on a cool winter evening, he was driving home from the military training when police lights flashed behind him. His Chevrolet Tahoe was so new that he still hadn't received permanent plates, but the temporary ones taped to the inside were visible through the back window. Nazario, who is Black and Latino, didn't want to pull over in the dark, so he continued on for a brief stretch until he reached a well-lit BP gas station. It was there that Gutierrez, and it's good that he did that, to keep the buck. It was there that Gutierrez and another officer, Daniel Crocker, and y'all remember that. Remember those names, Gutierrez and then Daniel Crocker, drew their handguns and demanded that Nazario step outside. Despite Nazario's composure, quietly asking for an explanation, pleading with the officers to relax, holding his hands up through the window, Gutierrez pepper sprayed him in the face before pulling him out and striking him repeatedly with his knee. "I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat me," Nazario said, never once raising his voice. Nazario, who was released without charges, filed a lawsuit this month that claimed Gutierrez and Crocker violated his constitutional rights, specifically the Fourth Amendment. The lawsuit says police also threatened to end Nazario's military career if he spoke out about the incident. Yeah, he was seeking at least $1 million in damages. I didn't know that if certain charges you try to go against them, it can mess up your career. On Wednesday, Windsor's police chief fired Gutierrez, saying the public reaction to the video was too intense for him to continue in the job. The Fuhrer has focused even more the nation's attention on how police treat Black men at a moment when Derek Chauvin, a former Minneapolis officer, is facing trial for the death of George Floyd. Not far from the courthouse, another unarmed Black man, Daunte Wright, which we're about to get into, was killed by a police officer on Sunday in a Minneapolis suburb. What many people have found most remarkable about Nazario's experience isn't the alleged mistreatment, the same sort they've seen time after time, but instead the way he responded to it. That demeanor is who he is all the time, Raquel said. That's just who he is. Her husband recalled episodes during Nazario's childhood when he'd remain so stoic during a scolding that it would frustrate his mother. "Ma," he'd tell her, "calm down." Garner's mom, Gwen Carr, recognized that same poise in him as a child growing up around the corner from our home in Brooklyn, and she thinks it kept him alive. "I really thank God that it ended up the way it did, because if he had stopped in that dark place, I'm sure they would have taken his life," Carr said. "I'm so glad he drove and got to that gas station." Yeah, for real talk. This is just a little left, y'all. Carr recalled Nazario's early years fondly. He was, and this is Eric Garner's mom, he was, she said, a smart student and a talented athlete, later playing baseball. He was a pitcher and running track at George Westinghouse High School. He was respectful, responsible, a good kid, Carr said everyone liked him. Nazario, one of 4 siblings raised by a single mom, had wanted to join the military since childhood. He was enthralled by the stories that Raquel's father, a decorated Vietnam veteran, told about the war, and he'd always liked to help people. Growing up, Nazario, who got A's and B's, received several awards for community service, including special citations from the city of Brooklyn, borough officials. In high school, he volunteered to serve as a map technician in local government meetings. In 2011, he enrolled at Virginia State University, drawn to its status as a historically Black college. 2 years later, Nazario left to enlist in the Army as a combat medic. He then returned to VSU and was accepted into the ROTC program, earning the chance to become an officer. It was an intense environment, said Alexa Simmons, who serves in the same ROTC program, but Nazario was always the de-escalator. If someone was arguing, he'd be the one to talk everybody down. She said, also recalling his keen sense of empathy. One day, she was struggling with a personal issue, but doing her best to hide it. He still noticed. Nazario pulled her aside and told her he was there for her if she needed anything. It just kind of goes on to tell some positive things about him. Nazario was commissioned, I'll read this part. Nazario was commissioned in the Virginia National Guard in December 2016 and works as the Army Health Services Administration Officer. He served on active duty last year as part of the Guard's coronavirus response, a spokesman said. After the January 6th Capitol insurrection, his attorney said he also was activated to serve in the district, working on the medical staff at the Central Command Center. So yeah, he was a medic. He seemed to be, a nice young man. Had a lot going for him, and is sadly related to Eric Garner. So wow, so this family saw these two situations. Fortunately, in this incident, he did survive. I definitely think that him pulling into that gas station was the best thing for him, because it was well lit. There were cameras out there, possibly other people at the gas station, versus just being on a dark road. It really could have went down very easily. But yeah, so this story was everywhere, and I just wanted to read this article because of the Eric Garner connection, but just to show how it's just a small world, you feel me? And all of these different issues kind of can touch anybody at any given time. That's why a lot of Black people who like, oh, well, they just should have did this, well, they just should have did that. Well, you don't know. It can be you. It can be your son or your daughter or your family member very easily. Because these people are terrorists in the community. Let's just keep it a buck. They able to operate and do whatever it is they want to do. And we're going to get into the other story in Minnesota. But, this was just a big article story going around. But I want to point something out. When I was pointing out the officers' names, the officers that pulled him over, and I said Officer Gutierrez, right? Who ended up being Joe Gutierrez, who ended up being fired. It's not clear. They said it's not clear when I did more research on it, whether he was fired right after this incident happened or if he was just recently fired when the story came out. Okay. And then the other officer, Daniel Crocker, okay, who's the white boy, who was the original one that pulled him over in the first place. He had his weapon pulled on him too. Now, the difference being that Gutierrez was a little more aggressive from what we saw in the video, in terms of he's the one that said, ride the lightning and all of that crap. You know what I'm saying? So, but why is the white boy fired? So they fired the Mexican or whatever. They fired him. They got him up out of there. But the white boy still got his job. So I thought that was an interesting part. Another interesting dynamic to this is Nazario, who they said is Black and Latino. Okay. Nazario, and he had his army, uniform on or whatnot. It had his last name on his, how it has it on the pocket, and everything, honey. And he looks kind of, he has a kind of look where you might say, okay, I can see he's got a little Latino in him or whatnot, right? He has that kind of look. And oh boy, didn't give a damn. And see, a lot of times, we've talked about it so many times on this show, this fake Black-brown thing, where people try to act like it's some alliance, and you only ever hear Black people saying, Black and brown people, Black and brown people. We talk about the suffering of our community. We talk about what happens to us. You get these people all the time. Well, see, because, Black and brown people, we say, no, ain't no damn Black and brown. Let's get that straight. The people that's supposed to be brown or whatever you want to call it, we already know where they at. He was the one talking the most. He was the one talking about you getting ready to ride the lightning. And this man ain't done a damn thing. This man ain't done nothing. He's got his hands up. What more do you want him to do? And see, that goes to that story as well. We're told all the time as Black people that, well, just follow commands. He still ended up pepper sprayed. And he was about a damn inch away from getting shot and possibly killed. Let's keep it a buck, because when they shoot us, they don't shoot to injure. They claim they can't do that. They shoot to kill, okay? So he was about an inch away, if that, from getting killed. But he ended up pepper sprayed for nothing. And if y'all watch the video at the end, they trying to talk to him. Well, we didn't. Well, see, we had to. And man, get that out of here. Because if that was a white boy who was a soldier, they would have had a whole different posture with him. Let's keep it a buck. And when they pulled him over, they knew he wasn't white. Let's keep it a buck. So these Gutierrez's out here, these Lopez's, and all of these people out here that's working in police and law enforcement that's out here, they don't have no damn reservations for how they deal with Black people. They gonna come at you full force. It didn't matter if he's Black and Latino or none of that, because them Latinos, they don't get down like that. They gonna ride with white people till the wheels fall off. So again, all that Black brown stuff needs to be deaded. That's done. Stop saying that, Black people. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. They don't say it about us. When they talk about their issues, they never include Black people. They never say, because we get treated so bad, you know, the Latinos and Black people, and they don't do that. But I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, that bothers me no end too. The whole people of color thing, and Black and brown, and our Black brothers and our brown brothers and sisters, and all that. Like, motherfuckers always like this inclusive shit. This inclusive shit that we have is annoying as fuck. It's annoying as fuck. Because again, we are the only group of people that do that shit. When other motherfucking groups of people are trying to get things for themselves, they not focused on other motherfuckers. They focused on them. They ain't saying, oh, it's us and Black people, like they just said. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. Like, that shit annoys me no end, man. And I hear this shit on a regular basis. Listening to motherfuckers discuss the community and what we need to do and everything else, and they always start trying to include other motherfuckers. Like, why are you including these other motherfuckers? Well, they get messed with by the police too, right? They start bringing up situations like this, like, well, they get pepper sprayed by the police too. They get kneed in the back of the head by the police too, and blah 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 blah. And I'm glad y'all have such low standards for what the fuck Black is. Such low standards. You want to be considered Black? Go get harassed by the pigs. You are now Black. That's the mentality of motherfuckers. That's the mentality of these people that think Black is a fucking mentality. It's weird as fuck. Like, everybody know what Black is till it's time to discuss what the fuck Black is. Then everybody get dumb. Silly ass shit. Right? So, you know, I don't, listen, I don't even play these little silly games with this Black and brown stuff. People get agitated. You got some motherfuckers who want to discuss what the fuck is Black and everything else. Then you get these motherfuckers who want to discuss whether or not we need allies, and we do need allies, and we need to link up with them because we all got the same issues and blah, blah, blah. I ain't got time for that shit. That's bullshit. That shit ain't never got us no motherfucking way. That line of thinking has never gotten us anywhere. We tried that shit before. You can't name me a time in history where Black people have not attempted to have allies outside of Black people. You can't name me a time in history since we've been here in this fucking country, since slavery, where we haven't tried to find allies with other motherfuckers. How has that shit worked out for us? Right? It worked out with us always being left with the short end of the fucking stick. That's how that shit works out. It works out that everybody else gets what the fuck they feel like they had coming to them, while we still sitting here holding the fucking bag with nothing in it. Well, I want the fucking bag with something in the motherfucker. I don't just want the bag. An empty ass bag. Your bag ain't shit if it's empty. That's what we got. We got an empty ass bag. Thinking we got the bag. No, we just got a bag. I want the bag. Now I'm talking about family. Motherfuckers is nutty. Anyway, I just went on a fucking tangent because Renee triggered me with this black and brown shit. But you know, this motherfucker right here, you know, like I said, you know, like, you know, I agree with what I saw in the chat. You know, this is Black Tino on Black Tino crime. This is, the pigs will be the pigs. You know, I suggest them Latinos get they Latino Lives Matter shit going and start marching till they fucking feet fall off. I doubt they do that though, because unlike us, they don't count motherfucking mulattoes as one of them. That motherfucker's black to them. He's Marino. He's a Marano. The fuck he is. Negro. That's the fuck he is. He ain't one of them. Even though he's half them, he's not one of them. We the idiots that embrace all these motherfuckers. So in their minds, this is just another Negro who got his ass kicked by the fucking pigs. They don't give a fuck. Not their problem. Right? But of course, somehow or another, this becomes our problem. Because that's how this community thinks. Unfortunately. I wish we would wake up from that, but that's a whole different topic. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic back to Renee.
Yeah, and we're going to get into this story, the kind of main story, but we had 3 topics. But I just want to say this real quick. I have this idea for a movie that I would love to see made. And in the movie, because I think this will be so timely with all of the Latino, Hispanic people that's here, with all of the stuff with the Asians and everything going on, and how Black people are continuing to be a shrinking minority group or whatnot in this country. A movie where, and it may be heavy. It may be very heavy and dramatic in the sense that the Black people are gone, right? The Black people disappear. We're no longer here in existence in America. So that can be by different means. You know, maybe we all upped and left and moved, quote unquote, back to Africa. You know, not that I'm somebody who, you know, I'm just saying in terms of a movie. Or maybe, you know, white supremacy, they got everybody to take that COVID shot. And let me stop. And that's how they did, whatever the case. So the Black population is gone, right? So leading up to the Black population gone, you see the white people out there, because let's say it came about in violent means, okay? You see the white people out there, you see the Latinos, you see the Asians, and everybody, right, coming for Black people, right? So then all the Black people are gone. But now that all the Black people are gone, who takes Black people's spot? So then you begin to see the processing of how the Latinos, especially the more white Latinos, the people like Joe Gutierrez or Jose Gutierrez or whatever the hell, the people like them who was kind of riding, they was riding with the white people, right? They was light enough, bright enough, white enough, right? They weren't niggers, right? And those people now, they treated like the niggers. like the niggas is treated. Now they use that slang all the time in the music, you know, wet back or whatever. In the music, that's all in the music. That's what they pushing out there. All of the imagery of them is horrible, it's negative. They can't get jobs. They're disrespected, they beat down, they pulled over for anything. Unarmed, constantly being killed. They're men, women, and children at the hands of law enforcement. And they suffer everything, all of the ills that Black people have suffered. So now you went from being a notch up over Black people to now you in Black people's position. So now all of the things that you said about Black people when you thought you was riding with white folks, all of the Asians that they don't give a damn about no Black Lives Matter, nothing. They ain't doing nothing. And they was able to feed off of Black people with their nail salons, their restaurants, their beauty supply stores, their convenience stores, whatever. They was able to feed off of us. So we ain't there no more. We gone. So now y'all destitute. And I would just love to see like a movie really breaking all of that down, because you know, you have these other groups that are not considered white, but they're definitely not considered Black. And you have the Asians, and then you have like that group, the Latinos, Hispanics, whatever. And they still know they above the niggas. Okay, they know that. So now, when all the ends is gone, you on the chopping block. Because the system is going to operate in a way of where it has to be the bottom. There has to be a bottom. There has to be the people, you know, all the way down here. And they've used Black people to do that. Now you there for real. Because see, they still got a cushion. Even if they pour whatever, let's also understand they make a choice to come here. Let's make that clear. Okay. But even within that, they got a cushion. I know it's been some news out there about they getting some money from in New York and different things going on like that, right? So now we gonna take all that, we snatching all that, and y'all gonna get everything Black people been getting. All the Hispanics, all the Asians gonna get everything. Asians ain't no more model minority. That's gone. Y'all consumer base gone. Now what? When y'all was sitting there capitalizing off of Black people, mistreating us in our own communities, never giving anything back to our communities. And we fed y'all, put y'all children through school, helped y'all bring family here. And it's just, to me, that would be such a timely movie, like I said, with everything going on with the Asians, you know, with all the more and more Latinos or Hispanic people here. I just think that will be timely. But anyway, I'll put my idea out there. So, but if somebody make that, y'all better pay me. But anyway, let me get into this to this last story, y'all. So I'm sure unless you've been under a rock, you've heard about this story as well. So we're gonna get into it. This is about Daunte Wright. Ex-Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter appears in court as Daunte Wright's family demands accountability. This is from USA Today. This was just published a few hours ago. All right. And they say about 60 people arrested for protesting in Minnesota. All right, let's get into it. Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. So Brooklyn Center is the name of the suburb. I think it's a suburb of Minneapolis. The former Brooklyn Center police officer charged with second-degree manslaughter in the shooting of Daunte Wright, 20, a Black man, a biracial man, made her first court appearance Thursday. Kim Potter appeared briefly on Zoom for a largely procedural hearing. She was seated in the office of her attorney, Earl Gray, and spoke only to confirm her presence. Her next court date is scheduled for May 17th. Potter, 48, who is white, fatally shot Wright during a traffic stop Sunday. In charging documents, prosecutors said Potter's culpable negligence caused Wright's death and created an unreasonable risk when she shot him instead of using her taser. Body-worn camera footage shows Potter pointing her firearm at Wright as she shouts "taser" before resigning. The city's police chief described the incident as an accidental charge. So let me say that part one more time. Body-worn camera footage shows Potter pointing her firearm at Wright as she shouts, quote, "taser," y'all. Okay. Oh, and if y'all ever saw the news, the conference with the police chief before he resigned. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, at a news conference Thursday, Wright's mother, Katie, said she feels like she will never get justice for her son. Okay, his mom is Katie. Okay, justice will be bringing our son home to us, she said. Katie Wright says she wants accountability to the highest level. If that even happens, we're still going to bury our son, she said. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump compared the case against Potter to that of Officer Muhammad Noor, which is an excellent point. A Black Minneapolis police officer who fatally shot a white woman, Justine Daman, some kind of Russian name, Razuchik Daman, in 2017. I hope y'all remember that story. Noor was convicted of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter and received, and was sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison. He testified he shot Diamond when she approached his squad car in an alley. He said he heard a bang on the side of the driver's side of the squad car and thought Diamond was a threat. Crump criticized police's explanation of the shooting, holding up printed out photos of a Glock pistol and a taser. Potter used excessive force in the stop, and Wright should not have been pulled over for a minor infraction such as an expired car registration during the COVID-19 pandemic, Crump said. So it's very difficult for the family to accept that this is an accident when you have a veteran who's been on the police force for 26 years, Crump said. The Wright family was going to the funeral home to see Daunte's body for the first time Thursday, Crump said. Wright's funeral will be held April 22nd. Civil rights leader Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. Oh, what a shock. Potter could face up to 10 years in prison. Let me read that one more time, y'all. Potter could face up to 10 years in prison and a $20,000 fine if found guilty. She was arrested Wednesday and released on a $100,000 bond. We will vigorously prosecute this case and intend to prove that Officer Potter abrogated her responsibility to protect the public when she used her firearm rather than her taser, said Imran Ali, Washington County Assistant Criminal Division Chief. Her action caused the unlawful killing of Mr. Wright, and she must be held accountable. The Washington County Attorney's Office is handling the charges against Potter after the Hennepin County Attorney referred the case, following an agreement among prosecutors in the Minneapolis area to refer such cases of police use of deadly force. I guess they got a lot going on right now. Wright's death sparked protests around Minneapolis, an already tense area as the trial of former officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd is in its third week. Potter's attorney, Gray, also represents Thomas Lane, a former Minneapolis police officer charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter in Floyd's death. Gray didn't respond to USA Today's request for comment Thursday. Potter resigned Tuesday amid calls for her firing. Brooklyn Center Police Chief Tim Gannon also stepped down, and the city's manager, Kurt Bogani, was fired. Wright's family described Daunte as a loving father to his son, Daunte Jr., who's 2 years old. He enjoys sports and spending time with his family during the holidays. Katie Wright said she was on the phone with her son after he was pulled over. He told his mother he was stopped for having air fresheners on his rear view mirror. Police said the traffic stop was because of an expired registration. Daunte Wright had an outstanding misdemeanor warrant on a weapons charge, which prompted the officers to try to arrest him. Okay, so that's what they're going to try to use. Daunte Wright had an outstanding misdemeanor warrant on a weapons charge. Now that sounds funny. That sounds funny. Which prompted the officers to try to arrest him. Now, I would be interested in knowing if it's a misdemeanor warrant on a weapon, what kind of weapon? It couldn't have been a gun. If it's a misdemeanor charge, it would have to be what? I don't even know if it would be a knife. Interesting. I'll see if I can find something on that. But Katie Wright said she told her son to give the phone to officers so she could give them insurance information. She heard the officers tell Daunte to exit the vehicle. Then she heard a scuffle and the phone disconnected. When she called back, the woman in the car with Daunte answered via video call and showed his body in the driver's seat. Wow. Potter's body footage camera footage shows two other officers approaching Wright's car as the one on the driver's side begins to arrest Wright. He breaks free, gets back in the vehicle, and a struggle ensues. After Potter pulls out her firearm and points it at Wright, she shouts, "I'll tase you, I'll tase you, taser, taser, taser." And she shoots Wright. He drives away and Potter exclaims, "Holy shit, I just shot him." All right. Wright's shooting is at least the 16th case of, quote, weapons confusion in the USA since 2001. And he is the fourth person to have died in such incidents, according to data compiled by the website fatalencounters.org and University of Colorado professor Paul Taylor, who tracks such cases. Wednesday night, a crowd gathered again outside the Brooklyn Center Police headquarters for a fourth night.
Wait, 1 second. Can you repeat those numbers one more again?
Yes. Wright's shooting is at least the 16th case of, quote, weapons confusion in the USA since 2001, and he is the fourth person to have died in such incidents, according to data compiled.
They go fuck themselves. Are they shitting me? 16 in the last 20 years? That's all they counting? Right. Mm-hmm. Who's keeping these numbers?
Let me click on the thing.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's just one paragraph left to this. According to data compiled by the website Fatal Encounter. Now this is I'll go to the site, but fatalencounters.org and University of Colorado professor Paul Taylor, who tracks such cases. Wednesday night, a crowd gathered again outside the Brooklyn Center Police headquarters for a fourth night, demanding justice and accountability. A curfew was in place again, and police issued dispersal orders around 9 p.m. Police said 24 people were arrested and charges ranging from curfew violations to rioting. All right, let me see here because it says, according to data, and it has where you can click on it. So it goes to an article from USA Today. How could a gun be mistaken for a taser? There have been at least 16 incidents of weapon confusion, what they call it, since 2001. Yeah, okay. I don't even believe that. I think they still use that as a cover. Oh, it was weapons confusion.
They full of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They claim that these types of incidents are rare, experts say, although no government agency tracks the use of taser-like devices nationwide, so it's impossible to say with certainty how many times it's occurred. So yeah. Now I want to address, this case before I throw it to Psycho. First and foremost, I think that the whole situation definitely could have been avoided. There's the images of the taser versus the gun. How could you not know, right? The woman is supposedly a 26-year veteran with the police. You know, I saw experts speaking about this, and they say the weight of it, the how it's shaped, everything is totally different. I mean, it's similar in terms of, okay, you're going to shoot, you know, pull this trigger or whatever the case may be in that way. But the shape, everything else is very different. The weight, all of that is very different than an actual gun. You know, also is bright yellow and those kinds of things. And that the way that you carry it, I think you're supposed to always carry your gun on your opposite side, so you're reaching across, so that it makes you more conscious that you're drawing your weapon. So anyway, you know, that's supposed to be the excuse that, you know, it was weapons confusion, because she said, I'm going to tase you and all of this stuff, but you kill them. So they're going to try to use that. Y'all heard that with the charges that she got. Because see, that's the thing. You got to look at what are the charges, right? So with the charges she got, she's facing at a maximum, y'all, 10 years. So what we get? We get Bottom Jean vibes again, right? Where old girl got 10 years, but she gonna be getting out soon. We already know she gonna be out here pretty soon. But you're not gonna have to do 10 years, right? If you have good time and whatever else they may put with it. And that's only if she gets the maximum. Because once you go to the court case, they're gonna come with all this other crap. They're gonna try to bring up, oh, he had a previous warrant for weapons. But see, I'm gonna have to look into that, because if it was a misdemeanor, again, that couldn't have been a gun. It had to be something else that they deem as a weapon. It could not have been a gun for a misdemeanor. I just can't see that happening. But and then it's interesting to me, the reasoning given, right? So he told his mom that they pulled him over because he had an air freshener on his rearview mirror. But then the police are trying to say, oh, he had expired tags. Now, who's telling the truth? So did he tell his mom that out of thin air? Or did he tell his mom that because they had already came up and told him what they stopped him for? And I guess at that point they went back to the car to do, you know how they get your license or get your information and they go back and do what they was gonna do. So I guess it was in between that time he called his mom and he told his mom that's why they pulled him over. And see, I was talking to Psycho about this not too long ago, but they come up with this cockamamie stuff, right? Because they can pull you over for anything. And having a damn air freshener, they can give you a ticket for that. That's a charge because they consider it obstruction of view. Now, mind you, they sell air fresheners at every damn gas station, at all the car stores, when you go get your car washed. Everybody sells air fresheners, right? But this is so illegal. And if they want to, in a lot of states, I guess depending on your state, because I think it's illegal here too. And if they want to use that against you, they can. Like it's a weak thing to use, but if they need to use it, they'll use it. Now let me say this about the young man. You know, he was biracial. So you ended up having Becky kill Becky's son. Becky killed Becky's son. And, you know, this goes kind of into the conversation where a lot of people who fight us on biracial people being black, that's why I wanted to really discuss this too. And I put that on the thumbnail. Because that's going to be the conversation a lot of people have. A lot of people have told us before, biracial people, they get treated like black people and they get stopped by the police and this happens to them and that happens to them. I want to make this very clear for all the people who want to use situations like this to say that biracial people are black. Okay, let's make this very clear. It is possible for other people who are non-black to experience discrimination. So it is possible for biracial people to experience discrimination, okay? To experience racism, that does not make them black. They are simply a biracial person who has experienced discrimination. They are a biracial person who has experienced racism. Part of them is black, and that black part of them is what causes, the big issue. Because if this young man had blonde hair, let's keep it a buck. He was white and he had the same mama and had a white daddy, and he had blonde hair and blue eyes, he wouldn't be dead. We can all agree on that. We can all agree if this was a little white boy, he would not be dead right now. Even if he ended up going to jail, even if whatever happened, he would not be dead. So that black part in him caused the issue, but that issue doesn't make him black. Him being stopped, or even in this case, tragically killed by police, doesn't make him black. He's a biracial young man who unfortunately was murdered by the police. Okay. And so I just want to make that clear, because then and I've heard so many people saying a black man, another black man killed by the police, another black man, another black man, another black man. I've told y'all this before. There is one exception where personally I support the use of the term people of color. Okay. The one exception is when you are referencing black people and biracial people together. I'm not talking about Asians and Native Americans or whoever else. I'm saying, or Hispanics, whatever. I'm speaking of black people and people who have one black parent. So people who have two black parents who are black people, and people who are biracial and have one black parent. If you use the term people of color as a catch-all for that group specifically, I'm somewhat okay with that. Because, and the reason I say that is because, I feel strongly about blackness, and that we can't go around putting that label on everybody because they're half black. Those people are biracial people, and we need to refer to them as such. I think that is extremely important. So I'm hearing so many people saying, a black man, another black man. This happened to a black. No, it happened to a biracial young man. So you can say, but then I don't want to use the term people of color because most people don't understand what I'm saying, what perspective I'm saying that from. So they use that to include everybody. So anyway, I just wish more people identify him as biracial, because on the one hand, they're calling him black, but when his mom comes out to speak, his mom is Katie Wright, and his mom is white as the pure driven snow. So how is that a black man that was killed? That's impossible. This is his mother who birthed him, but that's a black man? No, it's a biracial man. So I want to make that clear for anybody who's saying, see, biracial people, the police is on them too. See, they black. No, they're biracial people who, unfortunately, this young man was killed. He's a biracial young man. He's not black. Okay, let's make that clear. But otherwise, I'm gonna throw the psycho. I mean, just to wrap it up. Oh, just to say this too. It's interesting because Minneapolis, for a long time, has been known as like a big swirl city. It's known for a lot of swirling that goes on there. And a lot of people will lead you to believe that the more swirling there is, right, the less racism there is. The more swirling there is, the more all people coming together and all of that kind of stuff, right? The humanist type rhetoric, right? Well, now in Minneapolis and in Minnesota, baby, it goes down. It's going down. It's been going down. So this is just another example and a proof of this idea of this racial type of utopia that can happen when you have a bunch of swirling. That's definitely not proving true in a place that is known for swirling. I got more to say on this, but I'm gonna throw it to Psycho. Go ahead, Psycho.
Oh, my bad. yeah, I was saying facts. You know, like that. This is a good example to the people out there who feel like, you know, hold the position that somehow or another we can fuck our way out of white supremacy, right? This is how we get out of this situation. We fuck our way out of it. We just fuck our way into their families and everything else, and then we blacken up their family and all this other thing. We gonna fuck our way out of this, you know. But what idiots don't realize is the reverse effect is going to end up happening, and we're going to end up fucking ourselves out of fucking existence. You stupid motherfuckers. And this just goes to show they ain't gonna treat your motherfucking kids no motherfucking different, even though your kids ain't black. They know them kids ain't white either. And they gonna treat them motherfuckers different and shit. So they gonna have to go through some shit anyway. They gonna be confused as fuck. We talk about this shit all the time. They gonna be going through, like, you ain't gotta take my word for it. Go listen to some biracial motherfuckers. I listen to biracial testimonies all the time when they keeping it a buck. When they pull that motherfucking curtain back and start talking about what it's really like being biracial. Like that motherfucker time where old boy was talking to Piers Morgan, that British motherfucker, that biracial motherfucker, when they were talking about that whole Meghan Markle shit and him going off on her and all this other shit and everything else. He was telling them then, he was like, yo, listen, you can't talk, you can't even fathom what it's like to be black, much less biracial, because biracial, you don't understand. You motherfuckers act different around us. That you say shit around us that you wouldn't say around regular black people. You feel a certain type of comfort around me that you wouldn't feel around other black people. You feel more comfortable saying some of that racist ass shit you be motherfucking saying. You feel more comfortable in doing some of that racist ass shit you be motherfucking doing around me. But around other black people, real black people, what he said was, yeah, you don't act this way. You know what I mean? Because these motherfuckers clearly, like I said, are not black. We know this on this channel, but people will try to include them, and I don't care if they get discriminated by the police. Nobody ever said biracials don't get discriminated by the police. We've never made that argument here. We have always made the argument because they are liable to get discriminated on by the police as well does not make them black. That is a horrible argument of why we should consider them black. Because Latinos get messed with by police, and I'm not going to start calling them black because of it. You might want to call them black. You might want to start talking this black and brown coalition shit. I don't play that. They are who the fuck they are. We are who the fuck we are. And that's just what the fuck it is. We are not the same. We are not the same. And motherfuckers will constantly prove this to you in all walks of life. This whole show, we have proven to you that these motherfuckers don't want you around. They don't see you as one of them. They ain't on this humanist shit like you motherfuckers. They ain't on this, it's whatever you identify as bullshit. Because why didn't old boy identify as a motherfucking white man? Why did they view him as a motherfucking white man? He got just as much European DNA up in him as African DNA. Why are they viewing him as a white man? When his Becky bust him all up in his fucking ribs, gave him some rib shots. Literally, gave him some rib shots. Talking about she thought it was a taser. Bullshit. Right? But you know what disgusted me as well? And this brings it back around full circle. You know what disgusted me as well, family? When I sat up there and saw his mother, there she go right there. When I saw his mother surrounded by nothing but black people, and I ain't see no white people there besides the fucking media, the press, and everybody else was fucking black, all hugged up on her, feeling sorrow and everything else. This disgusted me to no end. Where the fuck is Billy Bob at? Where's Barbara? Where's Lucille? Where they at? Where's Chad? All I see is Shaquita, Keisha. I see some Tariq's up in there. Some Darryls. Where the fuck are all the white people at? Where are the white people? He was half white. Got a Becky-ass mother, clearly. But all I see surrounding her is black people helping her mourn. Where the biracials at? Why ain't the biracials sticking up for their motherfucking fellow brethren? Ain't nobody out there biracial either. Look, these are black people. These ain't even biracials. Where are the biracials at sticking up for their people? Where they at? I bet you most of those biracials up there said he shouldn't have resisted. I bet you most of those biracials out there said he should have complied. He shouldn't have been on that Marxist bullshit. That's what a lot of those biracials probably out there saying. Because I don't see them. Where they at? They don't need to defend their own. But all I see is black people defend this crap. Look at this shit. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Surrounded by nothing but black people. Disgusting. Where all them white people at? Where's uncles? Where's cousins? You got white cousins, you know. You got white uncles and aunts, grandmothers. Where are they at? It's crazy. It's crazy. This is what I be talking about, family. And here we is to the rescue yet again. It's crazy. Swooping in. All hugged up on her and shit. I wonder if she gonna get Black Lives Matter donations. I bet you she get some Black Lives Matter donations. Watch how she don't bitch about getting the Black Lives Matter donation money. Watch. Go see who pays for the funeral when the funeral happens. It's gonna be a big ass fat check for Black Lives Matter. We gonna take care of this for you. We gonna take care of this for you. We gonna make sure you ain't struggling. We gonna make sure you know you take it care of. Crazy. But watch, you heard it here first. Watch, she gonna get some money off this, and it's gonna come from Black Lives Matter. Mark my word. You heard it here first. Watch this fuckery. Watch how they take up for her. Tamir Rice moms, oh no, she don't get shit. She forgotten about it. She ain't even in the Rolodex. I ain't even got her number saved. Who that? I mean, she gets sent straight to voicemail. Watch how they come to this Beck and win. Pun intended. I mean, just wait for it, family. Wait for it. It's going to happen. This is some fuck shit. My bad, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pass the mic back to Renee.
No, that's very on point. Yeah, the woman out there with the fro, kind of with the color on his hip. That's his aunt, of course, on his father's side. That's his aunt, Nasha Wright. And she's been very vocal. She's been very up there in the forefront. Looking at other images of the family together, yeah, I didn't see any white people. I saw a couple of mixed people. I don't know if one of the girls might have been one of their daughters or something. And the father, I seen, I think they went on Good Morning America or something, I believe. I haven't heard much from him. You know, I seen him in a couple of the shots, but you know, the mom is being the focal point. And then you got all these black people surrounding her. Now, the mom's sister, Daunte Wright's aunt, put together a GoFundMe. And it was a story that came out that said she received hateful emails when she launched a GoFundMe to cover her nephew's funeral. Now, I think from what I saw, they have received something like $400,000. Her name is Kelly Bryant. Daunte Wright's aunt has started a GoFundMe page to cover her nephew's funeral costs. Since then, she has received emails accusing her of creating a fake campaign designed to steal money from people, she told Insider. They accuse her of lying about her familial ties to Wright. So yeah, I think people is coming at her. But yeah, she's not really in the forefront though. She put together the GoFundMe. I bet the hell she did. So yeah, they raised $400,000 on the GoFundMe, just so y'all know, to give him the proper burial. And here's the thing, you know, even though, you know, he has a black dad and everything, there still may be a little more sympathy, a little more empathy from some white people just on the behalf of his mom being white and the fact that he was biracial, versus if Daunte Wright had a black mama and the same daddy. I don't know if the GoFundMe would be where it's at right now, and I don't know about that. But I think the story is treated a little less negatively per se, because of the white involvement. And, you know, for some reason, a lot of black people do think that white people don't know mixed people, like they can't identify biracial people. They can, you know what I'm saying? They can. And this boy was definitely mixed. But again, biracial people
couldn't confuse them with nothing else.
No, you couldn't.
But you definitely knew he wasn't black. You knew that when you looked at him.
Mm-hmm. But again, biracial people can experience racism, or biracial people can experience discrimination. Like you can you can experience that and be biracial. That does not make you black. It does not. But yeah, so this story, I mean, now here's the thing. A lot of people have said things like, you know, why did he run for the police? And let me point this out too. Even though that's been discussed by some people, I think by the fact that he's mixed and his mom is white, that they're not focusing on that part as much. If Daunte Wright had been a black 20-year-old young man, they would be focusing more on he was trying to get away. They would be focusing more on he was trying to get in the car. I don't give a damn what nobody say.
Facts. Hardly nobody talking about that. I just mentioned it just a few minutes ago, but no, you ain't hearing hardly nobody saying this shit. Matter of fact, I'm hearing a lot of people have sympathy. Some of these same motherfuckers who will sit up there and talk this, you should have complied shit. Some of these motherfuckers who talk this resistance shit. I've heard a couple motherfuckers. I listened to a couple of these motherfuckers, and these motherfuckers, some of these same motherfuckers was, very, very sympathetic. Very sympathetic. They tone changed. They start talking about other things. They start sound like, they ain't had that same smoke if he was a dark-skinned Pookie from the block.
Yep. If he looked like Mike Brown and that happened, if he looked like Eric Garner and that happened, If he looked like a dark-skinned, you know what I'm saying, black young man and that happened, yeah, nah. The focal point would be he tried to get away. That would be the focal point. Now they're making the focal point more so, oh, well, she didn't know, you know, she pulled the wrong weapon, right? But in the case of if it was a dark-skinned black boy with kinky hair and all of the above, who's 20 years old, and he got pulled over for this mess, it would be he tried to get away. He tried to run. He tried to get in the car. They did what they had to do. She might have pulled the wrong weapon. Oh, well, he shouldn't have tried to get away. But now it's kind of like, that's kind of in the background, right? That's kind of like, that's quieted down a little bit. Because see, other white people, you know, they starting to have more mixed kids and mixed people in their family. So they got a Becky sister who's got a baby by Tyrell or something like that. So they have a little else more than a straight up dark-skinned black young man. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. What they just see is straight up nigga to them. It's a little bit, because of the biracial boy, it's Becky's son, we'll give him a little more leeway. We're not gonna go as hard on him trying to get away as we would if it was Darnell. We're gonna give it, even though this is Daunte, right? Daunte got, you know, Daunte, he's mixed for sure. You can see he's mixed. He's not a full nigger, so, you know. So, I mean, let's keep it a buck. That's really what's going on here. You know, now for, you know, some people who were having a conversation of like, and the people I've seen talking about that actually were black. Like, I haven't really seen no white people pushing that position, to be honest. Like I said, everybody's more focused on the weapon situation, the weapons confusion, if you will. But as far as like him trying to get in the car and drive away or whatever, now a lot of places, like Psycho said in Newark, a lot of different places across the country, they don't support trying to chase vehicles and stuff. If the person gets in and they drive off, you're not supposed to chase them or whatnot. Well, she didn't just let him leave. She wasn't just gonna have that. So she ended up shooting and killing him. She knew she had her gun. Let's keep it a buck. And I think they said he was able to drive like a block or so, and then he ended up running into another car or whatnot. But you know, some conversations have been had about, well, since he tried to get away, you know, hey, it is what it is. You know, my thing on that is that, yeah, and I'm gonna put this in the frame if this was a dark-skinned black young man, right? And people would be saying more, well, he got what he deserved. He shouldn't have tried to drive away. That was his fault, right? More people would be saying that. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You know, we can have a conversation about colorism. Now, he's not black, but in terms of how people, especially in the black community, may view it, it's an issue there. But my thing is, if he was black, or for any black man who may then try to leave, or whatever the case, people will use that as an excuse for what happens to them being justified. But my question is, how can you have, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, where a white man went up in a MF grocery store and killed 10 people, including a police officer, and guess where he's at today? He's not in the grave somewhere. He's not somewhere in the corners, nowhere. No, he's alive and breathing in jail right now, awaiting court. And he killed 10 people, including a police officer. How is it that these white folk can get out here, they can shoot up everybody, kill up everybody, do whatever they gonna do, and they get apprehended alive? They get locked up and they alive. Somebody has to do more explaining of that to me, because supposedly, the police, they shoot to kill, but old boy didn't get killed. And he took one of y'all. He took out 10 people. So we know this stuff is all rigged up differently. Like cut it out. The force that's used, even in times of this biracial young man, the force that's used is totally different if it's some black in the mix. And if you black, it's really bad. It's really bad. The way that we're dealt with. And it doesn't matter. And see, this is a great example of the story that happened in Virginia, right? Because here you have a military man, an upstanding young man. He has all these credentials. He's not thugged out. He's not in the hood. He ain't doing all this and that. He's playing the whole respectability politics game. He ranks high on the list of respectability politics. And guess what happened to him? He still got pulled over. He still got pepper sprayed. He still got accosted, and he almost got killed. If probably not for his smart thinking in that moment. He could have almost ended up dead. So it doesn't matter if you play by their rules or not. It doesn't matter if you try to get away. It doesn't matter if you put your hands up and you do everything they tell you to do. It's much deeper than that in how they address black men, black people, and even biracial people. It's different. There's a difference there. So people love to come in and say, well, so he shouldn't have tried to do, he shouldn't have did that. Well, she shouldn't have, well, she should. And in some cases, I'm not saying there's no validity to that in certain cases, but I'm just saying like what we talked about tonight kind of highlights that. You have two examples. And yes, the military man is still alive, but it could have easily went the other way. Very easily. Even with his, I think it was his cousin or his family member, Eric Garner. Eric Garner was not resisting. He was not fighting back. He didn't have a weapon. He had his hand out. So it's always some excuse. Whether you run or you don't run is a problem. Whether you got on an army uniform or you got your pants all the way sagging. Whether you got on a damn suit. It doesn't matter. They will find a reason. They will find an excuse. It's some justification, period. But a white boy can go up in a damn grocery store and take out 10 people and still alive. And still alive. Did they tell him he was going to ride the lightning? So, people talk about, and I just want to talk about this real quick. People say, well, then what's the solution, right? And I always say, I don't like the term solution. I like options, right? So the conversation I've seen some people have about, defunding the police and different, now that this is going on, the whole Minnesota thing, the trial going on, whatnot, that conversation's still out there. And, in my opinion, yes, I believe that's one thing that needs to be done. And people are like, well, what do you mean? Defund the police. And people don't understand what that means. Defunding the police does not mean abolishing the police. Okay? Number one, it does not mean abolishing the police. Number two, defunding the police does not mean not funding the police. It doesn't mean that. It means that some of the funding, right? The police are still funded, but some of the funding will go to other areas that will be more beneficial, potentially more beneficial. So in terms of having mental health specialists that are out there that are able to go out there and deal with situations. Like in the young brother, what's his name, Elijah? I can't remember his last name, but it was around late summer, fall of 2020. And they killed that young man. They shot him up with some type of medication and he ended up going in a coma and dying. And he did nothing. but they could have had somebody. He seemed like he might have been a little autistic or some things like that. If they had somebody out there who specializes in dealing with people who are autistic, or people who have mental health issues or having a mental health break, people who really, truly, truly specialize in that can, get involved and be that barrier there to really find out and talk to the person and be able to take them in or get them the help that they need. That's important, because in the Black community, a lot of the issues that go on, you have a lot of mental health issues that may happen, and you have a little issues that may happen around drug abuse, drug use, drug situations. So to have, those kind of resources that deal with people that might be on a certain type of drug and things like that, that's important to have. Because in the Black community, what happens with the police is every single situation is met with the maximum force. It's met with the maximum force. If the police are called out in the Black community, they coming hard. They coming in a situation already ready to take somebody down. What's going on? Whereas in suburban areas and in white areas, they may call the police. The police come out in a more friendly manner. Hey, what's going on? How can we help you? Did something up? In the Black community, they come out with a strong posture like, hey, we ready. We ready. And in every situation, that's not necessary just because we Black. Sometimes people, like the man in New York, he was having a mental break. And that man ended up dead. Did he need to end up dead? No, with no weapon or nothing. You look at what happened to Laquan McDonald in Chicago, and he had all kinds of mental health issues. So when I say defunding the police, I think that, and that doesn't necessarily apply to this situation with Daunte Wright or whatever, but I'm just saying in general, because the police are militarized in a lot of ways in inner city areas and Black areas. And that needs to be scaled back. And a lot of funding that used to go to like programs that children could be involved in the community, a lot of that funding has been taken. A lot of those funds go to police. You look at certain major cities around the country, and damn near half of the budget for the city goes to the police. So you don't have money to go to other areas that will help to prevent some of the situations where children can have safe places to go to after school, before school, things they can be involved in, other things like that. You know what I mean? So I think it is important to look at where the funding is going, what other resources, programs for mental health, drugs can come into the mix, so that you're not meeting every situation in the Black community with maximum force, with you ready to kill somebody type of energy. That needs to be brought down. So, excuse me, a lot of people feel like defunding the police means getting rid of the, no, it's not getting rid of the police. The police are still there. Their budgets are off the chain. Let's keep it a buck. But where's everything else going on? All you gonna do is fund law enforcement? You're not gonna do nothing else for the community. And that's when you can look at things like Black Lives Matter. Where's money for communities around the country? Where's y'all funding for different things? Y'all been collecting all this money. So the police terrorism on the Black community, it will continue. Because essentially that's what they're there for. That's what the slave catchers, the same type of mentality. And the thing about it is people say, well, they need training. Training for what? They don't need training. It needs to be other resources implemented, but retraining the police in what way? If somebody is racist, right? And you already know how prevalent white supremacist groups are within law enforcement. The FBI, who's racist as hell, even came out and admitted how rampant it is in law enforcement across this whole damn country. How in the hell are you gonna retrain somebody like that? You think they gonna come into some quote racial sensitivity training and that's gonna change them? That's not changing a damn thing. Guess what? When they pull up and they see, oh, he looks like a thug, he looks like a, hey, what's going on? All that's out the window. When it comes time for them to really deal with Tyrell one-on-one, they gonna deal with Tyrell how they deal with Tyrell, period. Sensitivity training don't mean nothing. That's out the window. And see, another thing, when they're hiring police, they don't do enough. And I was talking to somebody, and that's actually something she used to do, is, recruitment. And a lot of times when they recruit these people in, they don't do enough digging to really know who this person is. And a lot of these people are clicked up. It's families, it's brother-in-law, son-in-laws, and all of that kind of stuff. And all of these people be connected, and all of these people be down with the get down. Let's keep it a buck. So when they recruit these officers in, they're not looking to recruit in Black people in the community and Black young men as officers. And people will say, but Black people don't want to be officers. But see, they're not looking to encourage Black people to do that. And most of us already know how it goes. Because even, and I hate to say this too, but it's real. It's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because when you get a lot of Black officers, sometimes they're even worse. Like, he's not Black, but look at the situation in Virginia. The Hispanic dude was trying to go super hard. He was the one saying, you gonna ride the lightning. You feel me? So it's like sometimes when you get in the other, quote, minority groups, or when you get Black officers, sometimes they go even harder because they're trying to prove to the white people, like, I'm not gonna let Black people slide with nothing. I'm not gonna let them off the hook. And sometimes those are the Black people they want to be officers. So it's like the whole thing is just, it's just that the whole institution of it, the whole law enforcement from the criminal, quote unquote, criminal justice system to the officers that's on the street. It's just all, it's all intended toward Black people. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And people can try to act like it's not that. People can say, well, he shouldn't have did this, or he shouldn't have done that. And, well, why did he? You can say that as much as you want to. But lastly, like I said, tell me why a white bastard can walk in a damn grocery store, can kill 10 people, including a police officer, and be able to walk out. I'm done. I pass the mic.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, like this whole problem with the pigs, this shit has been going on for forever. Like I said, I've already predicted it's going to be a death in 2023 towards the end of the year. That's going to have a BLM resurgence, and that's when you're going to see the marching and everything else start back up. But like I said, this, especially this whole George Floyd case. But we've been kind of trying to wait for the aftermath on this. We don't really want to cover it day by day or whatever the case may be, because it's going to be a lot to unpack it. And I'm just waiting for the aftermath, because I'm waiting for the fuckery on that. This is going to end up being fuckery as well when this comes around, because she's only being charged with a possible 10 years, and we already know she's going to get the same thing old girl got with the Bokum John case, and but she probably see about 2 or 3 years top. That's if they charge her, and that's if they charge her, because she already got it out. She already got it out because she claimed she was reaching for a taser. She did say taser in the video, so she already got it out. They're gonna probably find her innocent. Not innocent, but probably just manslaughter. She ain't gonna get no real time, if any. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Amber Geiger. I think she's gonna get a lighter sentence than Amber Geiger, because she was on duty and she was on tape saying that she thought she had a taser. So this is gonna be deemed as negligence, and Yeah, this going. This watch. I already know. They're gonna pay Becky a bunch of hush money to shut the fuck up, and this, that, and third. I don't know. Maybe she'll do a civil suit. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm sure it will be. Again, I just want to see aftermath of all this. I'm just waiting for the aftermath. It's going to be some time for the aftermath of this one. We already waiting for the George Floyd shit. And if old boy don't get significant amount of time, I'm predicting riots everywhere. And Joe Biden is already on his bullshit, because he already told motherfuckers out in Minnesota that this is not a good reason to loot and all this other everything else. He more focused on the black motherfuckers out there wilding than the motherfucking pigs who are killing every fucking body. He's more concerned about the black motherfuckers reacting than the motherfucking reason for them reacting. Right? Like this, but this is y'all boy. This y'all boy. He said if y'all ain't vote for him, y'all wasn't black. This is remember he said that. If y'all didn't vote for him, y'all wasn't black. Well, he already that motherfucker ain't even 6 months in yet, and he already called motherfuckers a bunch of thugs, blaming them, pointing the finger, wagging his finger at them, separating himself from you motherfuckers who voted for him, separating himself from y'all immediately, so his white base can see he ain't down with that BLM. He don't think Black Lives Matter and he's Blue Lives Matter. He's coding up. But I knew this would happen. Negroes kept trying to convince me it wouldn't. But if Donald Trump had said that, everybody would have lost their shit. If Donald Trump would have said this ain't no reason to loot and blah, 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 and hyper-focus on the black people, that what the fuck they doing out there instead of the cops, motherfuckers would have lost their shit. They'd have called Donald Trump racist, which he is, but they would have focused on him being racist. They would have talked about it. They'd have been banging on him. They'd have used it as a soundbite to talk about for the next 8 months. Joe Biden says it gets swept under the rug. Nobody want to talk about it. Nobody got no smoke. This is the fuck shit I be talking about. This is why I used to always say that Donald Trump outrage, a lot of that shit was fake. A lot of that shit was just pro-party nonsense. Because motherfuckers don't got that same smoke for the motherfucker on the other side, on their side, who talk that same shit. Because he's more nice with it. He's nicey. Trump more in your fucking face, so therefore he gotta go. The other, I want my shit nicey. Easier to swallow. Great. Both pieces of shit, like I said. Y'all voted for a piece of shit who's about to call everybody in the black community a bunch of thugs and say we need fathers in the house, criticize our parenting. Same motherfucker who called our kids cockroaches. You motherfuckers tell me we ain't black and we don't vote for this motherfucker. Y'all motherfuckers nuts. That's a whole different topic. I done went down the rabbit hole. I done went down. That sound bite of that motherfucker saying, motherfucking call motherfuckers thugs and all. Well, he ain't called motherfuckers thugs, but he alluded to motherfuckers being thugs, saying looting isn't the answer and all this other shit and blah 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 and everything else. Well, fuck yourself. My bad, Renee. Piece of shit ass motherfucker.
Nah, you on point. That's facts. People love to focus on the looting and rioting. Man, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't want to hear nothing about no loot. I don't care. Let me say this. I don't support black-owned businesses being destroyed and dismantled. I don't support that at all. But a lot of these other big box, realtors and stuff like that, retail stores or whatever, I don't care. Like, and people are like, oh, they tearing down their own community. I mean, yeah, but no. Yeah, but no. I mean, these stores, they don't give back to Black people. They just take from the community and they'll rebuild. They got money to rebuild. They'll be okay. And the reason why I say I don't care is because whenever a lot of situations happen, the focus starts becoming things that can be replaced. The focus starts becoming property and not the loss of life. You can't get a life back. I'm pretty sure Foot Locker or whoever the store, whatever the store, and again, I don't support, the Black businesses being disrupted or damaged or whatnot. And I've seen in a lot of different situations where people won't attack the Black-owned businesses.
Out here in '67, when NorCat riots, all the Black businesses had signs out there. Most of the people already knew, but all the Black businesses had signs or spray painted on the planks when they covered the windows, Black-owned business. And everybody left those businesses alone. Everybody walked right past those businesses, didn't buzz out no windows, none of it. Police actually got mad later after the riots because the Black businesses wasn't fucked with, and all the white businesses got tore down, and the police started terrorizing the Black businesses that were still around.
And I have family in St. Louis, and they were saying that was the same thing in their area. Because my cousins live close to Ferguson, and they were saying some of the Black businesses in their area were not damaged by the community, and if somebody was trying to do something, people were stopping them. So a lot of times the people in the community, they know who owns what. They know that Chinese food restaurant, they disrespect us, they do this and that, and they might, the restaurant might, you know what I mean? They know, like, oh no, this is BB's Rib Shack. BB's Black, he's cool, whatever. We not gonna mess with his restaurant. So a lot of times that happens, but the problem is when you have other people coming in, which happens all the time. A lot of times people don't talk about it. We always talk about it. You have these other people that come in who are there intentionally. They don't even live in the area. They fly in. This has been proven. A lot of these, kind of far-right extremist groups and all of that, they look for situations to go down, and then they come in. And they do a lot of vandalizing. They do a lot of damaging. And then it gets blamed on the community. It gets blamed on the Black people all the time. So, we gotta be, aware of that as well, that every looting or vandalizing situation isn't always behind Black people. We saw that when the George Floyd situation happened. I mean, it was crazy all over the country. And you had a bunch of white people coming into inner city areas doing a lot of damage. So, we just can't put everything on Black people. That's why the whole looting thing, I don't really go down that road, because again, what's more important, property or a loss of life? While I do understand people who, particularly Black people who have, spent their life, their money, their time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears into building a business, and then it being destroyed. And in those cases, I'm definitely regretful that happened. So in those cases, I understand. But in terms of all of these other businesses that abuse Black people in many ways, they'll be able to rebuild. They got the money. I'm not saying people should do it. Let me make that clear too. I'm not saying people should do it. I'm just saying when people die, that's more of a concern to me than property, is my point. And because we're in a capitalistic society, it's all about the money. So, look at all of these businesses burning. Okay, but look at the Black man who was killed. I remember with Freddie Gray. And I think I was watching like Fox News or whatever. And it was, it was going down in Baltimore. It was going down. And, you know, they were showing like, look, this building is burning. And oh my God, they're destroying property. They're destroying AutoZone and whatever. And my thing is like, in CVS and such and such. And I'm like, but y'all not even talking about Freddie Gray and what happened to this young man. Y'all not even talking about they killed this young man. And then he ended up dead on life support. And, you know, he wasn't going to never come back. Y'all not talking about that. Y'all not concerned about that. But you concerned about a building? So I don't know. That's just my thing. It's like, what's the priority here? A building or a life lost? And why was the life lost? And you can't justify why his life was lost. You can't justify why he was arrested. You can't justify what happened to him. His family will never see him again. He's gone forever. So yeah, I don't like that conversation. I don't like it.
Yeah, you already, but prepare for it though. Prepare for it.
Yeah.
Shit ain't gonna be no better. Shit ain't gonna get no better. Tensions ain't gonna get no lower because Donald Trump's out of office. But this is when people start getting a wake up call. And the people that thought Donald Trump controlled racism, this is where they start getting a wake up call. So you know, yeah.
And with the, you know, like Psycho said, we, you know, waiting on the private trial. They decided today, just to say this real quick, that they asked him, was he going to take the stand? He decided to invoke his Fifth Amendment rights or whatnot, and so he is not going to take the stand, which, you know, the brother, George Floyd's brother, said he you know, was kind of upset about that because he's like, he wanted to see him get up there and basically, he said take accountability, but you know that's not gonna happen. So they rested their defense today. You know, we're gonna see what happens because, again, I said this on the other show when I talked about it. If this were based strictly on evidence, open and shut case is done. If it was really based on evidence and what the real experts said about what happened, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's done. George Floyd would be alive today if this bastard wouldn't have stuck his knee in this man's neck for 9 minutes. He would be alive today. At least he would be in terms of that. I don't know whatever else could have happened in life, but he wouldn't have died that day. Okay, let's make that clear. And if it was strictly based on, you know, what was brought forth, is done. However, you know, they do today who has been known to testify. He's supposed to be an expert, forensics, some type of forensics expert, whatever. And he's known to testify in favor of police, you know, in multiple cases. He's one of them. And he got up there, he was lying. That was the crazy part, is like the prosecution like caught him in lies on the stand. You know, he was trying to say it was these drugs found, and he said, but you're talking about one partially dissolved tablet, right? And he said, oh, I thought it was 2. You're right. I thought it was 2. No, you didn't. You got up there and lied to try to get the jury to believe certain things. So anyway, he was shown to have lied and all that, but reasonable doubt. You know what I'm saying? Is it reasonable that, hey, the drugs could have contributed? Hey, his heart health or whatever could have contributed? Is it reasonable to assume that could have happened? Even though all these experts who absolutely said no, he died because of Derek Chauvin, period. Not because of no drugs, not his blood, none of his tests came back to show anything that would have killed this man. This is why he died. But they can throw a little salt in the game. And so there you have it. We gonna see. We gonna see, but I don't know if he gonna fully walk. But his time, if he gets some time, baby, he ain't gonna be in there for most of his rest of his life. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't see it. I don't know, but yeah.
Just wait for it. Yeah.
We gonna see.
I seen quote unquote open and shut cases not be so open and shut before.
Mm-hmm.
So, So we shall see. We shall see. As I said, I'm just gonna wait and see because I don't even want to make no bold, wild ass predictions. like you said, if it's based on the evidence, this shouldn't even be an issue.
Right.
But we know that it's deeper than that. So and they're gonna look beyond the evidence and they're gonna start trying, like they already tried to, drum up his past history, try to make it seem justified that he died, that he was murdered, right? Like his life was meaningless. Like, why would you care? He's a scumbag. Why would you give a fuck? He beat up old ladies. He did this, that, and the third. He did porn and all that, blah, blah, blah. He used drugs. He had a counterfeit $20 bill, blah, blah. A whole bunch of shit that's irrelevant to the motherfucking conversation, even if true. Right? But this is what these motherfuckers do. They're going to try to assassinate your character. They try to, make you seem like, you're a less sympathetic motherfucker. And that way, they're not going to sympathize with you. They're going to sympathize with the victimizer, right? That's common practice within law, and it's very easy to do amongst Black people because of the preconceived notion people already have about us, right? They feel like we deserve our deaths. They always feel like, every time we die, we deserve it. We did something in our past. We did, even we ain't do nothing right then and there, we did something in our past. This is karma. It's almost like they believe that with us, right? Like that's justified because that's why they go digging all up in the past. Like, well, he ain't doing nothing wrong right here, but let's see what he did 10 years ago. I bet you did something 10 years ago that can justify why he died right now. Why this is karma. Why this is this is divine intervention. They start trying to pull these little rabbits out the fucking hat. They good for this shit. So this is common practice. This is what they do. And they don't do it with their own. They do it with us, man. But whatever.
Yeah, I see. Back to Love said he posted. I clicked on it. A video from today, where Patrice Cullors was interviewed by what's dude's name? That one dude, he's full of crap. Mark Lamont Hill. So I'm gonna have to check that out though.
Oh, that fruit booty, fruit booty support him. I don't know if he's a fruit booty, but I know he supports fruit booty.
Yes, he does. Cullors fires back at conservative media that she's taking money from donations to the organization to buy expensive homes, including a 1.4 million home in a predominantly white neighborhood. She says that she's never received a salary from working for the organization. Cullors said her money comes from various sources, but believes that activists should get paid a living wage for their work. I agree with that part. But baby, honey,
what are they doing that they deserve? What are they doing? What are they doing?
Exactly. But I think activists should really, if you really about that life. But yeah, what are y'all doing? And what
we don't need let me say this. We don't need no nationwide activists, right? We don't need no motherfucking activists, no national spokesman activist, Al Sharpton ass type motherfucker. That's just some national activist that just using that shit as an excuse so they can have reasons to fly all over the fucking place. I don't need you to pay for your flight expenses and all this whole other shit. We got Zoom meetings now. You want to have your voice heard out in Cincinnati and you live out in LA, you Zoom, motherfucker. That shit don't cost nothing. What the hell is y'all talking about over here? What are you activizing? What are you doing? What are you doing? This shit's ridiculous, man. I'm not playing these little silly games with these motherfuckers. We need money for expenses. What expenses? To fly all over the place and make a fucking speech? We don't need that shit. The hell is you talking about over here? Make a speech on YouTube, motherfucker, and share that shit on Twitter. I'll fuck your speeches. I don't need to fly you no fucking where. The hell you flying places for? We need motherfuckers, listen, we need motherfucking activists in our fucking communities that's doing shit in the boots to the ground. We don't need no motherfucking body sitting up here that's activists in name only. It's a fucking job description, and you just using it as a motherfucking write-off on your fucking taxes, so motherfucking you can get compensated for all these flights and all these freaking flyer miles and hotel fees and all this other shit, so you can make a fucking speech that you could do on fucking YouTube. Go fuck yourself. Pay your ass. What? What are you doing? Stop writing a book. Get the fuck out of here. So we gotta pay you a minimum wage so you can write a book that you're gonna get paid off of? That's how this shit works? We gotta pay you to write a book that you're gonna get paid off of. Ain't that about a bitch? We funding their businesses so they can make money. And they calling this bullshit activism. Right. Getting a movie deal, that's activism. Fuck out of here. My bad, Renee.
Now, you have a point. But yeah, and I was just going to mention real quick about that 13-year-old boy in Chicago. And let me just say this. They put his picture out there, and that's very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see him look like he had any gun or weapon, but they put his picture out there. And if his picture would not have been put out there, everybody would have been saying he was black and would have been blaming black people and black parents. I just want to make that clear. People will be going ham. I was watching a stream earlier where they was talking about it. It was the new one of the news stations in Chicago was having a stream where they showed the video and they was talking about it. And in the chat, like, I noticed a few people was like, well, where was his parents? But the reaction was very different. And I was like, man, if he had been a black little boy that was 13, oh man, they would be dragging the hell out of black people and dragging the hell out of his parents. But yeah, just saying that. So if y'all haven't seen that story, yeah, check it out. It's sad. It's a sad story. So it's very unfortunate. But yeah, that's just something I noticed.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you got anything else you want to touch on, Renee?
No. I am starving. But
yeah, I am too.
But no, nothing. I think we pretty much got through all of our stories and, you know, broke a lot of things down or whatnot. So yeah, this week it was just kind of a weird week. I don't know, but it's just a lot of stuff going on out here. It's so many stories, like kind of like pop culture type stuff. Maybe next show we'll touch on some of that little kind of stuff, but we wanted to hit on these issues tonight. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Love y'all, appreciate y'all.
All right, no doubt. Family, do me a favor. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and please click like, share, and subscribe. It's very important that you click like, gets us in the algorithm. It's also important that you share, let people know we breathing, and it's also important that you subscribe. And when you do subscribe, please do me a favor and don't forget to hit that notification bell. It's very important that you hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever we do go live, drop a video, make a post, whatever the case may be. So yeah, be a part of the notification gang, and yeah, hit that bell. And to my haters out there, it's about that time. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? If you had any issues out there with anything you heard tonight, you know, anything we said, I don't turn my ratings off. I actually embrace these. So you can express yourself right about now by clicking dislike. You should still share this motherfucker, right? That's what you should do. And then you should probably unsubscribe as well. You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you click a dislike on the shit you heard tonight, then I already know you ain't on none of these right here. And you need to get your mind right. And see, yeah, family. Also, family, please consider becoming a Patreon. You know what I mean? If you do become Patreon, you have access to any stream I do, whether I keep it up or whether I take it down. You also have access to exclusive content, and I also have no limits on there. Whatever you feel like the channel is worth, that's what you donate. All donations given does go towards the production of the show. As always, shout out to all my Patreon out there. I appreciate all y'all. And yeah, family, please follow me on Twitter and the gram at SYKOPATHeist, spelled the same way as the channel. Also, family, please subscribe to all our channels. This is very important because sometimes we might have to channel hop. And if we do, you know, you want to keep up with where we at and what we doing. So like all these other links, these links will be in the description as well. Please subscribe to all the channels. And yeah, as always, family, if you're looking for any graphics, artwork designs, or logos, please consider hitting up our sister Renee at Renee Black Graphics on Facebook. Also, if you're looking for any t-shirts, hoodies, or coffee mugs, all custom designs, please consider hitting up her store as well. All these links, just like the rest, will be in the description. And yeah, family, today's Thursday, so the next show you'll catch me back on Saturday for the Wake and Bake. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. You know, I got something in mind that I kind of want to talk about. I'm going to get into it. But, yeah, I was going to talk about it last week, but, you know, DMX died. So I kind of deaded that show because I had to talk about DMX. You know, rest in peace to him again. But, yeah, I'll be back on Saturday, family. So be on the lookout for that. And, yeah. Almost fucked up. And, yeah, family. As always, you know what I mean? I want to shout out everybody out there. You know what I mean? Everybody out in the live chat. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Shout out to my Deep. Shout out to everybody else. I want to give a peace and black power to everybody. Holla black at your boy and your girl. We out.
Anybody, I don't care, you die. Battle anybody, I don't care, you die. Battle anybody, I don't care, you die.
Yeah.
Battle any, I accept.
Yep.
They all fail.
Yep.
Gonna
Let's go.